All right, everybody. Well, here I am. Sorry about that. I was muted. Now you can hear me. Now you can finally hear me. I was muted for like 2-3 minutes. Okay. Well, I was only talking for a minute, but I'm back. All right. So let me put on the, make sure you can see the actual background here, and then we're going to get started in just a minute. What's going on here? There we go. Yes, everybody, welcome in. Hopefully everybody's had a great week. This week, I was a little bit busy yesterday. Unfortunately, I was not able to make the stream as I usually do on Wednesday, but I made it on Thursday, right? Better late than never, right? This week I thought I had it right too. I unmuted and everything, but I still had the wrong setting. It was only a minute though, right? Only a minute or two. Let me welcome all you folks in. Oh, before I welcome you folks in, let me just give a little disclaimer. Tonight's episode is going to be dealing with some controversial topics, possibly some upsetting topics. So I usually like to joke around, keep the mood lighthearted, but I'm going to try to show the appropriate respect to the subjects as they warrant. So with that out of the way, let me welcome everybody in. First off, we got Marsha here. Marsha, I'm going to get to your comments in a minute because I want to read your full comment. But let me welcome everybody in. So welcome in, Marsha. And welcome in, Lazy Texican. Welcome in, Jamie. Good to see you, Jamie. And let's see here. Steady C, 9277. Welcome in, Steady C. Hope you're having a great night. Jay Gutchy Gus. BED is in binge eating disorder. Exactly, as in binge eating disorder. Yes, little comment in there. He is a good salesman. I gotta tell you, I listened to him talk a little bit. He's slick. He's a slick talker. I'll give him that. Welcome in, Sid Eater. Good to see you. So like I said, there might be some controversial subjects tonight. I've got a few different things I'm going to be covering as far as this Pearadise topic. The way I heard about it is through everybody's favorite girl, Quirky Love Rosie. She apparently went down to Vegas to do an interview relating to the subject. She never actually stayed there, but they wanted her opinion as somebody who was affiliated with similar things in the past. Welcome in, Rage Piggy. Good to see you. And welcome to any first-time visitors, any first-time chatters. We're always glad to have new people here. Welcome into any of the lurkers. Welcome into anybody watching the replay. And of course, welcome to all of the chatters. Glad to have you. So I found, before we go into the videos, let's do a little intro here. I found this website for the Pearadise community. Let me share the tab here. So we're not going to read the whole website because I went through it. There's a lot here. We'll be here for an hour if I read the whole thing. But just going to give you a quick review. So just to introduce, this is, I believe, written by Stefan. He is the fellow here with the gray hair and the Dr. Pepper shirt in the middle. Stefan is, he's the fellow who runs this Pearadise community. And I'm going to give you my opinion on all of this soon, but I wanted to introduce all of the facts before I get into my opinion. Because there's a lot here. I'm sure we're all going to have an opinion on this subject. It's certainly a lot of room for opinions. And I would like to say here, there's no wrong opinions when it comes to this kind of thing. You're allowed to disagree with me. I want to stress that. Of course, I'd like it if you agreed with me, but I'm not going to get upset if you disagree. So if my opinions are, if some people have difference of opinion on this, I'm interested to hear it. So that out of the way, Pearadise is a community, a location, and a vibe. We are a body positive, all-inclusive, and supportive group located in Las Vegas. We run a Discord server called Pearadise, and we host body positive events in a safe, welcoming, and non-judgmental environment where everyone is welcome. The Discord is open to everyone, no matter your race, size, age. Well, I guess that's really not true. You got to be over 21, or gender. Okay. So the Pearadise story here. Let me give a little background on Stefan first, because I think this is it's pretty quick. I'm Stefan, originally from Germany. Born and raised in Berlin. I've been in the US since 2004 and Las Vegas since 2011. Run my own business, software development. I'm a social person. I'm not going to read every word of it. It goes on to say that during the first lockdown, he began a Discord community. That is what has grown into this Pearadise community. So let's give a little background on the community itself. What exactly is Pearadise? It is a Discord community, a friends group, and a mindset. And just to get ahead of myself a little bit, the big deal is the Pearadise house. It's not just, it started out as a Discord community, but it became a place called the Pearadise house. So let me skip ahead just a little bit. What does Pearadise stand for today? Pearadise stands for body positivity, friendship, hospitality, and the belief that people deserve to feel accepted exactly as they are. Already, what's jumping out to me about this description is it feels very corporate, very polished, well written. I think it's well written, but it feels very sanitized. I feel like this is not the most accurate description of what goes on there. From what I've seen, it looks to be kind of debauched. From this description, he makes it sound like a summer camp, doesn't he? It's a place for support, for laughter, for meaningful conversations, for game nights, for parties, and for community. The way he describes it, he really makes it sound like a wonderful place, doesn't he? So I'm not going to read too much more of this because this really is propaganda in a sense. And let me just see if I can get a picture of the, if I go back to the homepage here. Where's the one about the actual place, the location? It's a little hard to figure out where you go on the website here. Anyway, we're going to go back to the video because I don't want to spend all night on the website. The website's going to be confusing. We're just going to be going back and forth. So let's go to the video that I have. I got a few videos. Oh, and let me also welcome everybody into the chat who's come in here. I missed a few people. All inclusive unless you aren't fat. Well said. This is all AI. No wonder it sounds so corporate and sanitized. You know what? I think that's even more point to not even bother. And my apologies. I missed some good if I missed some comments and all, but I sometimes slip past me here. Let's see. Welcome in, Miss Stat. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great night. Okay, so let me put up the video here that really goes into detail because I found this video. I was digging through, just looking for information on Pearadise, and I found a video from a reaction channel I normally don't cover. I don't really know too much about her, but she did a pretty good review of this, and it was a year ago, before the recent controversy. And I thought it was really interesting because of that. It's removed from the controversy. This is kind of before all of the recent drama with Rosie and all of that. And what is the drama with Rosie? I think most of you are probably familiar with that. But the drama with Rosie is that she was went to Vegas to do an interview in relation to this streamer house. And she was very glib. She was very happy. She was very cheerful on the trip when she was there. When she discussed the documentary, she was very glib and cheerful and happy. She was talking about how she was finally in the mainstream media and she made the news and people are jealous and they're angry that she's finally getting some shine in the media. And they're basically talking to her about some subjects that she claims she doesn't want to talk about. She says she doesn't want to be the center of attention. She says she doesn't want to be in girl world. She said she doesn't want to be in the feeder community. She says she doesn't want to be involved in any of this stuff. And then she keeps inserting herself into it. So that's kind of where Rosie falls in on this. So with that out of the way, let's watch a video describing the history of the Pearadise community in some detail. And I put a link in the description of the video. So if anybody wants to see this, video without my commentary, the link is available in the
Hey everyone, welcome back.
So this is from a channel called Sam at Every Size. I don't know much about this channel. I watched her once or twice. I don't really have a strong opinion anyway on the channel. And even if I did, I'm not trying to talk about other reaction channels. So I'll just say, I'm here to watch the video. So let's just give it a watch.
to the channel. My name is Sam, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back to the channel. If you are new,
I'm actually going to skip ahead because the first thing she does here is a content warning, and I've already given you a content warning, so I don't think we need another one. But just for anybody who did just come in, content warning. There might be some disturbing or upsetting subjects covered tonight. I'm going to try to show the appropriate respect. But I am also going to try to keep it lighthearted at times. So that said, let's get to it.
Okay, with that said, I want to go ahead and start today's video with a little mind exercise, okay? I want each of you to close your eyes, and I want you to envision, for me, the most body positive space you can. A space where fatness is queen. A place marketed as safe and non-judgmental. A space where plus-size women get together and celebrate their bodies by hosting pool parties and bikinis, playing games, and watching movies.
So I want to show some of this video because we already described the place is like. We've already given Stefan's version of it, and that's why I wanted to show that first, even though I guess it probably is AI. But I still wanted to read it off just because I wanted you to hear what Stefan had to say about the place. Here's some video of the Pearadise house itself, just so you can get an idea of what's going on there.
They even host TikTok live streams where they help other women learn to love their bodies and be confident in the skin they're in. Can you picture it? Now I want you to picture who would host such a gathering. Could it be Virgie Tovar? She sells classes.
I thought this was pretty interesting, this part here, where I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I don't want to just watch her video, minute for minute. I want to skip ahead just a little.
That this place is run not by a woman at all, but by a singular German man named Stefan. Stefan is
Sam
a
here takes
software
issue with this place being run by Stefan rather than being run by one of those women who's known for being a member of the body positivity community. And I just want to take a moment here to address the idea of body positivity. I love the idea of body positivity. I love the idea of people being happy in their skin and not feeling ashamed to be themselves. I think that's great. I think that's important. At the same time, a lot of what I see called body positivity seems to be just an excuse for very poor health, poor eating habits, what could even be considered self-harm when people are binging to the point where they're making themselves sick, where they're causing permanent health issues. I don't think there's anything positive about that. I think that's body destruction. I myself have been heavy in the past. I've never been heavy enough to get into this guy's house if I was a woman. Never that heavy. But I was pretty heavy. I was up to about 300 pounds at my biggest. I'm only average height. So I understand what it's like to be fat. And I don't think people should be ostracized and insulted and belittled for their appearance. But I do think that it's not helpful to encourage overeating and obesity and binging and all of this stuff that's very self-destructive. So I take issue with the term body positivity in general, just the way they describe it. I don't think it's anything positive about destroying yourself.
Or engineer, and he is the creator of a community known online as Pearadise. This online community includes a Facebook page, Discord server, and TikTok account marketed as a safe space for plus-size women. The Pearadise TikTok was launched in 2020, and since its launch, Stefan has worked hard to build his online persona as that of an ally and an advocate for body positivity.
I mean, it's all inclusive. You get all you can eat, all you can sleep, all you can screw, all you can see, everything. It's all included. Oh, he means the other kind of inclusive. All right.
Fat acceptance and fat liberation. He promotes loving and embracing all bodies and projects inclusivity, going as far as to make sure every space in his home can accommodate his plus-size friends. He also promotes himself as an ethical leader who advocates for personal growth.
Now, I think the unwritten part here that just kind of needs to be mentioned, and Stefan never put this in the website, is he doesn't say it he says it eventually, but I think he should be a little more upfront. The fact that he has a clear sexual interest in these women. He is a fetishist. I don't think he denies it. He's a feeder. He likes his women to be very fat. He likes to see them get fatter, and he doesn't seem to be too concerned about their health. So, on one hand, I think I don't have a problem with people enjoying themselves and enjoying their sexuality. I don't think that's a bad thing. But this guy's sexual fetish that he's into is very destructive. It's not just a simple preference. It's a destructive lifestyle, and he's enabling these women who he says to love so much. He's enabling them to destroy themselves.
Often expressing how he has helped others by caring for their well-being or showing them their true potential. Despite this loving, caring, genuine person persona he puts on, in my opinion, this man is a walking, talking red flag. And I felt that in the core of my soul the moment that I saw his face in Cass's content. And what I found when I started to dig into him and his so-called safe community was not a caring and loving person, but rather, in my opinion, someone who is controlling and manipulative, and who used his wealth and power to lure vulnerable women into his house, where he can then prey on them, and then he follows that and keeps them quiet by intimidating them and ultimately retaliating when they speak up.
Okay, so Sam here has a very negative opinion of Stefan. I don't know enough about Stefan to disagree, so I'm not gonna defend him, but I'm not gonna jump on him either. I don't know the full story about the guy. I'm still learning about him. But what I've seen so far, I don't think he's like I need to learn more about him. I think that's the best thing I could say. What I've seen about him so far makes me a little concerned, but I don't want to. But from what I've seen, and again, this is just what I've seen, I haven't seen anything specifically yet that would rise above the level of concerning. So that's where I am with Stefan. Now, it sounds like there's things I'm still learning about it, and if my opinion could change. But that's where I am right now.
The first and most obvious red flag to me was the overuse of social media buzzwords in their marketing. So think words like safe space, body positivity, bully-free, and judgment-free zone. These words and phrases are being used in marketing to target a very specific audience, right? Who would these words appeal to?
Oh, that's a great question, Lazy Texican. They did not sign NDAs to live there in the past, but after some incidents they had there where a former guest accused him of assault, and he presented some documents and some material which he believed absolved him. So he sued her for, I believe it was defamation, but she won the defamation case because he couldn't prove that he didn't assault her. I don't know the full story of the case, of course. And since then, he has instituted a policy of non-disclosure agreements. At least that's what I've heard. So, yeah. But that's, it sounds kind of disturbing. But, it's important to see everything, because you never know, right? You always got to see. There's two sides to every story. So I just want to say that up front. Just want to say I think we should hear everything before we condemn the guy. Although it's not looking good to start. I'll say that it's not looking good up front. We should, let's find out everything, right? Welcome in, Nirvana. Good to see you, as always. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great night. Oh, welcome in, Jizzo. Good to see you too. Hopefully you're also having a great night. We're covering Pearadise tonight. We're taking a little break from the usual girls, and we're doing an in-depth review of the Pearadise community.
Well, in my opinion, they're appealing to people who feel like they've been bullied or belittled for the way they look or the size of their body. It's also clear that they're targeting plus-size women.
Okay, so her comments there about how he's targeting people who have been bullied, who are using those buzzwords, like, what were the buzzwords? Let me go back here.
Very specific. These words in case, body positivity, bully-free, and judgment-free.
Yeah, these words are just... these are words that started out with very good intentions, but they've been co-opted, and now people will take these terms and they'll use them to misrepresent themselves. And anybody who uses too much of this kind of language does make me concerned. It's like, what are you trying to hide? Why can't you? It just, exactly. What are you trying to hide, Stefan? It's what it feels like. Like he's trying to conceal his true intentions behind buzzwords.
But they're targeting them in a way where you can tell that these are women who may have followed or brushed up against
missed the
or
shirt.
read some of the rhetoric coming out of the body.
I missed the shirt. I'm going to rewind it. I got to see it. Was it in the... darn it. All right, let me go back. Was it in the very beginning? Darn it, I missed it. I don't want to go back too much because I don't want to... There it is. Okay, here it is. That shirt is too much. And it's got the same glasses as him. Look, it's got his same glasses. Or not exactly the same. All right, that's a pretty silly shirt.
Or read some of the rhetoric coming out of the body positive, fat liberation, and fat acceptance spaces as they exist right now online. They're using the same kind of vocabulary to appeal to those women. Now, when I say that Stefan is targeting vulnerable women, I don't necessarily mean vulnerability as weakness. I don't think that these women are weak. I know that was a concern of a few of them who have spoken out. Rather, I believe that Stefan has an understanding that when people are going through things that make them feel vulnerable, they're often also feeling confused or overwhelmed.
Now, the one thing I do want to say here, I agree that some of these women appear vulnerable, but I mean, I don't know the details of every single person who's come there, so I don't want to generalize too much, but they are all adults. And I think there's a certain level of consent, a certain level of trying to think of the right word for it, a certain level of expectation. When you go to stay with a strange man and you go to live with him and he talks to you in a sexual manner before you go to stay there and he suggests sexual activity and the other women who are there are engaging in sexual activity with him, you would have to be rather naive to think that he did not have a sexual motive. And I don't want to blame anybody who's genuinely, a victim of a crime or anything like that. But if people need to be aware what they're getting themselves into, that's just all I want to say. I don't think there's any mystery as to what Stefan's intentions are. He clearly has a sexual motive, and he's concealing that to an extent. I don't think he's lying about it, but he's concealing it. And I don't like that. I don't like that he's concealing the motive with terms like bully free and stuff like that. You have a sexual interest in these women, Stefan. And in the direct messages, he seems to be upfront about that. So as much as he's putting on this image as this innocent place, in the direct messages I've seen, he has been upfront about the sexual nature of the relationships going on there. So I think that's what's important. So vulnerability, that's an issue. Disclosure, that's an issue.
And I want you to think about a time in your life where you felt super vulnerable and overwhelmed. What was the first thing you did? For me, it's to seek out community. And I think that that's true for many people. And what Stefan has done is created a community.
Let me just take a moment to welcome some people in. We got a few more people coming here. Welcome in Manders XL. There's a documentary coming up in like 2 weeks, which I'm going to watch. I don't know how I'm going to react to it because I'm sure HBO is not going to just allow me to use much of it. But there's a documentary coming out like in 2 weeks about this place called Pearadise. This is a video from a year ago or over a year ago from a reaction channel called Sam at Every Size. There's a link in the description if you'd like to see the original. She discusses some info about the place, but there's only that one official documentary coming up as far as I'm aware. And welcome in Sky Fieri. Good to see you. And let me just make sure I've welcomed everybody else in. Okay. And if anybody's watching the replay, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Oh, and if you're enjoying the stream, be sure to leave a like. That helps out the channel and it lets the algorithm know what kind of content you'd like to see.
Will go to share their vulnerabilities. And those women's personal struggles, in my opinion, become his gain. And how do we know this? Well, If you think about it, when a community is run almost exclusively online, that means that much of the communication that's taking place is public or is likely to become public as people share screenshots and direct messages and things of that nature. So, with that being said, of course, there are TikToks, archived live streams, screenshots from Discord and direct messages that are now publicly available for people to see. And within those documents, it becomes clear that many of the people who have participated in this community, either online or in person, have dealt with some sort of vulnerability or trauma. It's been said by several sources that
I think this is a good time to mention that's the same way that I said. I believe that these women are all adults, and they should, they should understand that going to stay with a strange man who expresses sexual interest is potentially could put you in a compromising situation. Stefan needs to understand that you're opening yourself up to this kind of a situation here. You can't bring these potentially vulnerable women in and then expect them to act exactly how you would like them to at all times. They might react poorly to something that he does, and he needs to be prepared for that. So, Stefan, you're opening yourself up to these potential situations. So, I think he needs to accept that he's putting himself into this situation, and if there's a misunderstanding and it comes out bad on him, he exposed himself to this. He chose to get into this.
multiple women who have stayed in the Pearadise house have dealt with previous SA.
That's what it sounds like to me too, Nutty.
SA, and I'm not even going to use the word here, SA is extremely serious. And right now, right here at my house, I have multiple people that have gone through it.
At least one woman dealt with a terrible, toxic relationship.
So I can say that. It's free speech. Savvy's boyfriend posted her naked pictures and videos on a public site. I've seen it. I have the recording. I still have the screenshots of it. So it's true.
I
can say
I think this raises an interesting question. What responsibility does a content creator have when they're working with somebody, I guess as a fellow content creator is what you'd call them? These women are essentially content creators when they are living in the house because they are on stream, they're participating in the creation of content. What point do you have a responsibility to say to somebody, I think that you're struggling with too much right now. I don't think you're in a situation where you should be producing. You should be in a content creation role. I don't think you're in a stable place mentally right now for a relationship like this. I think it'd be better if you took some time and worked on yourself. A responsible content creator would do that. Somebody who's looking to exploit somebody sexually would do the opposite. So this is why I think you could cast a negative light onto Stefan for working with women who have a history of vulnerability or exploitation. He could say, I think that this could potentially be a compromising situation for you. It might be better if you didn't come. And if they still say, no, Stefan, I want to go there, this is what I want to do, really make sure this is what they want to do, kind of a thing.
I can absolutely say that. Her boyfriend cheated on her, and she came in the chat and confided to all of us and cried in the
Exactly the right word, Miss Nat. Those were exactly the words I was looking for. Accountability, autonomy. There's a certain level of accountability here that you have to understand what you're getting yourself into.
chat to all of us. I can say that because I saw it with my own eyes.
And many of the women have also expressed on their own platforms that they have dealt with mental health issues such as anxiety or depression.
I have been struggling with my anxiety and my depression and battling feelings that I hate myself and I feel like I'm not good enough.
Oh, thank you so much, Nirvana. I appreciate that.
It appears to me, based on a pattern of behavior, that when people are going through these things and they're seeking out community, Pearadise was their community of choice. It was their safe, trusted community where they.
See, this is the thing that this is what would disturb me here. If Stefan said, "Hey, this is a party house. This is a sex house. This is a place where you're going to be coming and we're going to be participating in sexual activities and all that kind of thing." If he was very upfront about all of that, then people know what you're getting into. But if he's portraying this as, oh, we're a community, this is where you can come to make friends. There's other women here. There's community. There's camaraderie. It's all about self-esteem and empowerment. And no, it's not. It's about you getting laid. It's about getting yourself laid, Stefan. That's what it's about. At least that's what it seems to be about. And if it's not, well, gonna need to see some evidence. So yes, if he's portraying it like that, then that is messed up. That's very messed up if that's what he's doing. If he's upfront about it and he's like, hey, this is a sex house. Don't come here if you don't want to get laid. If he says, if that's what he was saying, then I think that would make it very different. But if he's saying, hey, come on, come here to make friends, that's a different kind of scenario.
They were sharing the things that were happening to them or the things that were happening in their lives. Many of the women have shared their experiences where they started to participate in the Discord or the Facebook group, or they would comment on his TikTok. They would get a message from Stefan. They would go back and forth in conversation, and then he would quickly offer to fly them to his house in Las Vegas.
And I originally interacted with him, and I was just like, hey, do you have suggestions on places I can go to here in Vegas? Because obviously with everything shut down, I was like, where are all these cool videos where you're taking these road trips to? Because need fun things to do. So that's originally how we started talking. And then he was like, yeah, do you want to meet? And I was like, sure. You want to meet at a coffee shop? He's like, just come to my house. And I was like, all right.
Not sketchy at all.
Right? I was like, figured a coffee shop parking lot, because obviously the inside's
maybe
closed,
a public place where other people can witness our interactions.
Once in his home,
I mean, it's not appropriate for him to invite them over so quickly. And if he's presenting it as a non-sexual thing, if he's presenting it as, hey, let's just come over and hang out, no pressure, then he's a creepo. He's a creep. If he's saying, hey, if you come over here, it's probably going to get a little steamy. So make sure, so I hope you're interested in that. If he's making that clear, then I think it's different, right? I think that's really what it hinges on, actually. Now we've watched some of this, I think it's basically the main thing. What is he telling these ladies exactly? So let's hear a little more.
Several women have alleged that they were touched by Stefan without their consent, that they were living in this toxic, overly sexualized environment where women were being pitted against one another by Stefan and for his approval.
See, toxic, overly sexualized environment. Maybe this is where I'm too jaded, but I look at this place and I don't see how it could be anything else. I look at this place, I don't see a community for fun and respect. I see Stefan, I guess I'm giving away my answer, but I think Stefan's building his own personal harem here. And like I said before, he just needs to be straight up about it.
But also being manipulated and coerced into doing things that they were uncomfortable with. There was one woman who perfectly encapsulated the way that she felt
Exactly.
living in the space with Stefan when she said this.
Well, because it's his house and it's his hotel. No, but that's not how that works, but okay.
Yeah, that's the other dangerous thing. For anyone who's ever considering going to one of his...
And Nutty, I think that's really right there. I think that's where, I mean, at least in my opinion, that's kind of the line between an inappropriate and an appropriate relationship. If somebody's like, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know if I want to go through with this, and the other person says, well, then hey, then take some time and make think it over. Or they'll say, oh, come on, you got to make your decision now. What do you can't wait? I think that's the big difference. Pressuring somebody, or the element of pressure. The pressure is what is definitely a negative thing, and there shouldn't be pressure in that kind of a situation ever.
His parties or his house or whatever. Just be aware that his mentality is if you are there, you are open to him touching you or him wanting to be in your room without your permission, because he doesn't understand that by allowing guests in, there is now a shift of power. You don't get to just be like, my house, my rules, you do what I want. Especially if you're using it as an open place for a lot of people to come and go.
In 2021.
That's a fair point. And I think that is he making these women think that there's a potential of a romantic relationship? Because if that's what he's implying, then maybe that's how he's getting some of them over there. Because if he was honest with them and he said, hey, you come over here, we're just going to film some content, you can take it or leave it. I'm not going to show you any special treatment. You're just going to be another object for me to use and abuse. And that's it. The women probably wouldn't be as eager to go over there, but he probably tells them stuff like, oh, I'm going to treat you special and I'm going to take good care of you. I'm going to make you feel loved. I'm going to treat you like a queen, all that kind of crap and BS. And that's, it's not right.
One woman came forward alleging on TikTok that Stefan had touched her without her consent, caressing her stomach and spanking her butt. Her friend shared a similar sentiment as the two had traveled to his home together. Their stories were then picked up by another TikToker who currently goes by Kimmy Ann on her platforms, and then others joined in, adding their negative lived experiences within the Pearadise community. Stefan's response to all of this was to sue the 5 women who were speaking out for defamation and slander, as well as taking to TikTok Live to tell his side of the story. Stefan is adamant that he has never touched anyone in his house without their consent. And in this specific situation,
now this part here is interesting. I mean, obviously the whole thing is interesting, and of course it's never right to touch somebody without their consent. Of course that's wrong. I just want to bring up though that there's the such a thing as implied consent. If somebody chooses to go to if you invite somebody up to your hotel room late at night, there's an implication, someone of the opposite sex, there's an implication that there might be some hanky-panky going on. So if he explained that potentially is what could happen, that, hey, I might spank your bottom, I might give you a little massage, if he expressed that up front, that's very different than if he had said, hey, no pressure, no worries, we're just going to come over, watch some TV, and that's all. So what did he say? Let's see the messages.
And with these allegations, he leans heavily into the fact that consent was coming from messages and a message conversation that had been flirty prior to this woman's arrival at his house. But he also published a few things that directly contradict this sentiment, including sending a message that says he never touched anyone after the appropriate message was received. So essentially admitting that he knew he made someone uncomfortable by touching them without their consent, because it was only after they expressed their discomfort with touching that he stopped. It's almost as if he should have just asked before he did it, rather than doing it and waiting for that message to come.
Now, the only thing I'm going to point out here is that later on in this is that it says he should have asked up front specifically, and that's reasonable. I don't think that's unreasonable, especially when you're dealing with these ladies who seem to have a lot of issues. A lot of these women seem to have a lot of trauma and a lot of psychological baggage around this kind of thing, around sexuality and all that. They've expressed that themselves. So knowing that, you gotta be extra careful, Stefan. You invited these women over knowing that some of them may not take it the right way. And you gotta be a little bit more careful than that. Don't invite somebody over to your house if you're not 100% sure that they're going to be okay with what's going to happen there. You got to make that clear, Stefan.
He also said this in a live stream.
Did anyone express to you, okay, did anybody express to me that they didn't like you touching them while they were there? No, not really. There was one incident where basically just a little friendly banter was kind of like, it was basically just like, you know what? Meh. I can read signs.
I find this one so interesting. Like, literally, I have notes in all caps on my computer here, because it was so clear to me that the person who is asking this question is trying to lead him, right? They essentially want him to say, no, that never happened. I would never do that. Therefore, all of the claims these victims are making aren't true. They have no grounds. But his response was, no, not really. And I'm going to say this for the people in the back, because I know that Stefan still has a lot of support on these platforms. not really is not a no. And in my opinion, this is him again saying he is aware that he made someone uncomfortable. Oh, and I don't want to forget, after these allegations came out, he also sent a message saying that he knows he's too touchy-feely sometimes. And as if the messages themselves aren't damning
Let's
enough,
read the message here a little bit.
I also found
Let's
an
see this
Instagram
message.
post. These two.
Okay, so here's the message from Stefan. I made two girls uncomfortable because I was a bit too touchy-feely. They had sent him nudes and given the impression they were flirting, and I had been kissed by the other. And just in general, I thought we were super tight and intimate friends. A little non-sexual banter, like a belly rub, was not a problem. Once I need the proper not wanted signals, I immediately backed off. This is a real he said, she said situation here. This is just a very awkward and unpleasant situation. This is why Stefan probably shouldn't be talking all this stuff about community. He needs to make it clear this is a sex house. If that's what's going on, he's got to make it clear.
Touchy-feely sometimes. And as if the messages themselves aren't damning enough, I also found an Instagram post where he expresses that he needs a partner who is in the mood multiple times per day because his love language has always been touch. And if that wasn't enough to convince you that he had done no wrong, he decided to go ahead and release some security camera footage from inside his house. That's right. He's filming them all the time in the common areas.
Just like, he actually does kind of see them like animals in a way, though. He sees them like his herd. Like the very idea of feeding, a feeder. They're feeding. They're not eating. They're feeding. It's like it's a very animalistic thing, right? The whole thing is uncomfortable because the whole pretense of having a feeder house to begin with is just so disturbing to me because it's just the entire concept is self-destructive. There's no good way to run this place, right? Was it a content house? That's a good question. That is a good question. It sounds like there wasn't. And if he's trying to do this sex stuff, he needs to get contracts. He can't say he's running a community and then try to have sex with all the women and then claim they all should have expected it. It's too much of a leap.
Like they're on Big Brother. So he decided he should release that to clear his name.
All right, so this is allegedly the incident itself.
You guys have wanted evidence and Piggy dropped some. This is Stefan submitted evidence. Like, bro, what?
It's a little hard to see because it's kind of zoomed out, but this is the biggest I can get it, unfortunately.
I do feel like...
Let's see if we can get a better look at it. So Stefan is here. I mean, if that's his girlfriend, that's one thing. But if that's just some random woman who came over, that's not appropriate, right? Like that's where I'm standing. I mean, if that's his girlfriend, that's fine. But if that's just some stranger, that's not appropriate.
I do feel like I should add here, now that you've seen the footage, that he released this fully expecting to prove his point that these women did not act the way the SA victims should act.
Welcome, Izu.
Which is
good to see you, friend. We're doing a expose here on Pearadise. We started off with the website. Now we're watching this little mini doc here from Sam, and then we're gonna go back and watch some additional content, a little bit more on Pearadise, but I actually have a little bit of a Rosie vid. But yeah, right now we're watching this.
Absolutely disgusting.
We had a great night.
And I'm gonna be honest here, I did not think it could get worse than this, than him saying they didn't act the way they should have. And then I found clips on his social media, on Paradise's social media, on their social media where they...
This is a great point, Nutty. And also, how about this? the fact that he's running this as a for-profit account. He's making money off of these women who he's bringing there. He's making money off of their images, making money off of their likenesses. Are they being compensated? I mean, maybe they've agreed to let him keep the money. But if he's making money here, there should be some kind of agreement of how it's going to be split if they're the ones appearing in the videos. So if it's for content, there needs to be a discussion of that. And also, if he's going to be doing this, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but from what I hear, if people are recording pornography, they make everybody sign a contract up front so that there's no, debate over what you were going to do. So if he's planning to engage in doing all this, producing videos and all this the sexual activity, he needs to get clear written consent so that something like this is prevented.
Pearadise, other women defending this by saying things like this.
I'm a survivor of sex assault. I know what it really is. I know what it's like to be down against your will and have parts of your life destroyed.
Welcome
I would
in.
never in my...
Welcome in, Glitter Files. Hopefully you're having a great night. We're covering the Pearadise little mini doc here. I preview. There's the big one coming up next week. This one's from Sam. And just also want to reiterate, we've been covering it all night, but there's some maybe disturbing subjects in here. Might, not quite as funny as my usual episode. I'm not really making a lot of jokes tonight. So just want to make that clear for everybody.
My life ever put another human being in that position. I would also never, ever, ever advocate for someone that I feel is capable of doing such things.
And this was
so that woman there is defending Stefan. She is saying that she does not believe that he committed the assault. I mean, it doesn't appear to be a criminal assault. It appears to be more of a, making somebody uncomfortable and being inappropriate. But either way, it's inappropriate. If that's a stranger, you shouldn't touch them.
To me, because as we heard earlier with all of the other allegations, it was actually said that Stefan in the Pearadise community would pit women against one another or use them to do his dirty work and or coerce and manipulate other women into doing things they did not feel comfortable doing. And we're seeing that happen firsthand here. And within this conversation, something that hasn't been mentioned yet but is pretty important is that he often had women that he was in relationships with serve as the face of his community. And those faces...
See, now this is a conflict, maybe not a conflict of interest, maybe that's not the right term, but this is a bad situation. Because if he's claiming that this place is just a community for camaraderie and empowering women, he's also dating the people in this community. He's treating it like his own personal harem. So you can't have it both ways, Stefan. You can't claim that this is an empowering community for women and then use it as your own harem.
Were important because they were responsible for bringing more women into the fold. The woman we just saw defending his behavior, her name is Rita. And Rita is intriguing because she's been around for a very long time. She calls Stefan her chosen family, refers to him as her brother, and she is the one we see most often defending his behavior, going as far as to say that her friend is not capable of SA. But here's why I want to draw attention to Rita.
Rita, if there's any...
And as much as I like the idea of somebody sticking up for their friend, I think it's a bit much to say that they're incapable of committing a crime. I think that's a bit much. It's going a little bit, over the top.
If there's anybody that can speak for like the vibes and the place and the party, it's Rita. Rita is in here. She said she's brought hundreds of people here.
Hi, Rita.
That's right. She has helped by serving as the face of the Pearadise community, bringing in hundreds of women by Stefan's own account. And maybe it's true. Maybe they do have a very different relationship because it appears.
Honestly, I am a little bit jealous. I mean, there's a certain, it must be really nice to be able to find all these women who you're so attracted to. Like I don't know. It's like, it must be very freeing to be in love with women who weigh 600 pounds because you don't have any competition. It's like he's never going to have to compete for a date. He's never going to have to worry about being turned down. He's never going to have to like live up to any expectation. I mean, and I don't mean like, I mean, that sounds, not that I want that for myself, but it's just like, it's kind of a crazy thing to think about, that he's never gonna, he's gonna have all the women he ever wants just because he wants all the women that aren't necessarily wanted by other people. It's kind of just a weird, like, it's just a very weird thing a weird paradigm. It's a very weird paradigm.
Here's like Rita is similar in age to Stefan, where the rest of the women in this situation tend to be much, much younger. And that's not unusual for Stefan. He has been caught speaking with minors on his platforms. He fully admitted to speaking with a 16-year-old via direct message about her choice to wear a bikini.
I'm not going to defend any of this here. I don't think it's appropriate to talk with a minor about sexuality or things like that. I think it's inappropriate. So I'll just leave that alone. I'll just leave that there.
16-year-old hit me up on TikTok and literally tell me that my content was the reason that she put on a bikini and made a TikTok swimming in a lake.
There are also public screenshots of a Discord comment where a 17-year-old was expressing that maybe she was dumb for being into older men or talking to them when they started talking to her. And Stefan responded and told her that she shouldn't worry about that because they're seeing the maturity in her. Additional screenshots have also come out where a 17-year-old was asking how to get into their Discord. And you can see in these messages, Stefan...
Welcome in again, Marsha Pilly Pal. Hope you're having a good night. And that's a good point, Jizzo. Well, I wouldn't say that if you were broke, you'd have no one. But he wouldn't have this harem. He'd probably have just like one woman.
Talking about her hips, calling her cute, and asking her how big and tall she is. And once again, on TikTok Live, he admitted to this conversation.
I might have called a 17-year-old cute, but that was in order to hype her up.
And just to be clear, when all of this was happening, Stefan was in his late 40s.
This whole thing is just it's very inappropriate to me because it feels like these women, a lot of them, they seem a little bit immature mentally. And it feels like he's trying to take advantage of that. If he was just simply interested in fat women, that would be whatever. But he's a feeder. He's encouraging these women to eat more. That's not the thing. I don't think it's being addressed here. But what about the feeding element? What about the fact that he's like encouraging these women to eat more and to destroy themselves? That right there invalidates anything he wants to say about loving or respecting these women. Anything he wants to say about community, it's all invalidated when he's trying to destroy them. And he's doing it for his own personal thrill. He's not doing it because, I don't know, he thinks that it's helping them. He's doing it for his own sick thrills. This guy seems like he's talking to everybody online at one point. Speaking of bronies, you know something? Speaking of bronies, actually, thank you for bringing that up, Nutty, because I normally don't like to discuss unpleasant subjects, but I'm just going to mention for a minute. I knew a guy online, and he was like a friend of a friend kind of thing, and he was a brony, and I just never really, I always like thought it was kind of weird, but just like whatever, never really thought it was a big deal. Like it was kind of weird, but I just kind of was like, whatever, you know. He got caught for some kind of sex crimes, and now he's looking at like 30 years in prison, and it sounds like he deserves it. And it just feels like a strange coincidence. These bronies keep getting in trouble for stuff. Like, I don't even want to like get into it, but it just, yeah, like that. Yeah, another one. Like, how many times is it going to happen? So yeah, glad that just wanted to mention that.
Now I'm going to back up for 1 second here to talk more about the women in Pearadise and in Stefan's house being pitted against one another, because there's just so much evidence of this happening, even by Stefan's own account. First, he tells the story of a woman who lived in the house, and he was told to avoid her by the other women because she was stinky and potentially had diseases.
Ever.
And now they're all best friends. And you know what the funniest thing is? The funniest thing ever? Ali told me on a recorded phone call how Porky treated her, and now Ali and Porky are this close.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could publish that recording where Ali is slandering Porky and saying like Porky was a pig. She smoked everywhere. She used all the groceries in the house. Didn't contribute. Like
see this kind of catty back and forth between the women there. That's by itself. It's whatever. But it shows a pattern. Because he's a smart guy. He's a clever guy, and I think he has enough control over his emotions. He seems like he has enough control over his emotions that if he's talking like this, it's for a purpose. It's not just simply because he wants to get it off his chest. He's trying to control how other people feel and how they think about others.
Made the house a mess.
And he says all of this before bragging that one of the other women is the person who kicked this woman out.
The funny thing is that Ali is now going around on that live stream, on Piggy's live stream. She was saying that she disappeared, that she chose to leave. Bullshit. I know. Erica kicked her out and said, like, if you come back to this house, it is on site. Like, literally another girl, not me, another girl said, if you...
Yep. And, like, I don't really know much about the guy. I didn't really know him very well. But, yeah, I just knew that he was a brony. I don't really know, like, a lot more. But I've heard a few times now that more than a few people who've been caught for sex crimes have been self-identified bronies. I'm not saying everybody who identifies that way is, but it just feels like there's way too many of them. Like it's more than just a coincidence at this point.
Come back here. While I'm here, it's going to be a fight.
He also shared a really disturbing story where a woman who was staying in the house had had a few drinks and they were together in the hot tub, and she began flirting with him. And he needed to know if this flirting was real, and also I think he was trying to cover his ass with those security cameras, so he had another woman help him get consent.
Like,
okay, now here's the up to this point I've mostly, I think Sam did a pretty good job here being relatively impartial, but I think here I have to disagree just a little bit, because earlier we were talking about how he touched that woman's belly without getting consent, without explicitly getting consent ahead of time. Here, I watched this ahead of time. He was talking with a woman who was drunk, and he went out of his way to get consent from her because she was drunk. He wanted to verbally get her a recording of her giving consent. I mean, if he doesn't get consent up front, it's wrong. But if he does, he's being creepy. Maybe he is being creepy, but I'm not going to hate on the guy for trying to explicitly get consent from one of his guests. That's the one thing that he's done that I'm not going to criticize. I think that he should definitely do that.
I have somebody that sat with me next to me in the hot tub, and Porky was coming on to me. Porky was starting to flirt with me and saying, like, do you want to do blah, 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 blah. And my friend was like, Porky, you had alcohol like 5 hours ago, whatever. Like, it was a long time before. It's because she was drunk in the afternoon, but in the evening she was fine. She was not drunk. In the court document, she's claiming she was drunk. She was sober. It's because both of us made 3 times. We made sure that she is okay. We said, like, hey, are you okay? Can you make decisions? How are you feeling? When was the last time you had a drink? What do you want to do? Are you sure about that? And then my friend said, ask for it. What do you want Stefan to do? Ask for it. Say it in words. So she made her say out loud, take my swim trunks off, or my.
I'm not going to criticize him for making her clearly state what she wanted to do. I think that if he had done that in the beginning, it would have avoided some of these problems.
Bottoms, you know. And she made her say, you can touch me. You can do this, and that.
Yeah. And finally, he admits that he was once upon a time flirting too much with one woman in a group chat with multiple.
I'll agree it's weird, but after he already got accused, the first time, I could see why he was a little bit shy. I could understand that. It's one thing I'm going to give him some leeway on.
Women. And those other women went behind his back, created their own texting group, and they decided that they were going to call this other woman out for texting and flirting with Stefan too much. He sells Pearadise as this safe, welcoming community, but as we've seen throughout, I mean, it is anything but that. Throughout this defamation case, Stefan was online trying to defend himself, but also asking other people to step in and defend him, most of which you've already seen. But he was also trying to protect this persona of a genuine, loving, caring person. And what I haven't mentioned up to this point is within that persona, he added in being a good father. And this was an interesting choice to me because at this point, he decided to bring his own children into the mix by including them in live streams and talking about them and making Instagram posts about how good of a father he was.
Unless his children are over 18, that you should not be including them in any way. And even if they are over 18, I don't see why they would want to be involved in any of this. If I was his kid, I would feel really weirded out. But I mean, I guess that's the most important thing, is how old are these kids?
While also talking about his love for who he calls his baby mama. Her name is Cece, so I'm going to call her that, but he solely refers to her as baby mama. But I found that at the same time all of these allegations were coming out, and as Stefan and Cece were making video after video about their love for one another and their amazing family and their amazing children, she was suing him for child support.
Jizzo, I forgot. But you know something? Yeah. And I'm not going to say that he's automatically a creep, but at this point, if you're a brony, you got to prove to me you're not a creep. Because there's just been like it's a pattern. It's a pattern at this point. Yeah, that's like, what the hell? I totally kind of forgot about that. Yeah, he's not like full Brody, but he's, I don't know. I don't want to put that. I'm just going to leave that alone because that's a very strong allegation to make. So I'm just not going to make it. But I'll say this. If Pete gets arrested someday, I wouldn't be surprised. Welcome in, Vista. Oh, how are you feeling? Did your surgery go well? Hopefully you got some good news. Oh, Elizu, I was just saying how a person I knew, not closely, but like through an online community, they were a brony. I didn't really like make a big deal of, whatever. And then recently they got busted for some messed up crimes, and they're getting locked away where they belong now. And it's just like, why is it that these bronies keep doing this stuff? It's messed up. Like, like every time, like the guy was a brony, I was like, oh, well, that doesn't mean anything, right? Like he might just be normal. But then I found out that then I found out he's a criminal. That's awesome, Hippies. Good to know. Good to know. Hopefully you have a good recovery. Yeah, no furries. Oh, they met Stefan? Or they met Pete's? But again, I'm not going to put any allegations on anybody without proof, so I'll just leave that alone. But yeah, he does seem like a creepy weirdo. Just leave that alone there.
You cannot make these things up. It's literally a public court case document that exists alongside the defamation documents. It's impossible to miss it. Stefan ultimately lost his defamation lawsuit because despite his repeated claims that he had so much evidence via his security footage and things of that nature, he never proved that these allegations were false. Unfortunately, this loss did not stop him from keeping his Discord, his TikTok, and his Facebook group active. It also did not stop him from trying to silence his dissenters. It is alleged that he has had multiple subreddits, Facebook groups, and even web pages taken down that try to share any information or allegations that have come out since this lawsuit. And with all of that said, I want to make one final point to kind of wrap this up. As I was looking into Stefan and Pearadise, I became curious about what it means to be groomed as an adult. We typically tend to know what it looks like when someone's grooming a child, which is also of concern in this case. But I wanted to know, what does it mean when a person is in their 20s or even their early 30s? And what I found is that there are 6 stages targeting victims.
I think, I don't want to take away people's agency. So I'm hesitant to use the term grooming to describe adults. But I will say that some adults can be vulnerable. And if a person is vulnerable, then that's a different situation. So I also think, like what I said earlier, and what Nutty said about how a predator isn't going to let somebody take some time to figure things out on their own. The way that he moves so fast, the way that he's using very, very carefully chosen language to make himself appear non-threatening, there's just a lot of red flags, like Sam said in the beginning, and I have to agree with her on that. I don't agree with her on everything, but I agree with her on that, certainly. The guy throws up a lot of red flags.
Gaining their trust, fulfilling a need or void, and maintaining control. It's my opinion that Stefan is a groomer based off of these 6 stages. We've seen throughout this video how he uses his online platforms to target his victims using buzzwords like safe space. We've heard how he will message.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I think I don't really want to like get too like into grooming versus manipulating because I'm not really qualified to make that distinction. But that's kind of where I stand, is that an adult of sound mind, I would not consider that grooming. I would consider that manipulation. If somebody's vulnerable, then I would consider that more to be like in the grounds of grooming. And you could say feeder on this channel. I know that some channels like are more careful. They've everybody, and I respect every channel, whatever the rules on there are. But on this channel, I don't really stress language that you use because I don't know. I haven't been demonetized for it yet, and I feel like I'm such a small channel, I don't even get noticed. I feel like I fly under the radar. I'm such a small channel.
With them to gain their trust before inviting them into his home where he can isolate them from their friends and family. And as we've seen, even though there are other women in his home, he's established control through pitting them against one another and creating inner circles where they must work to get his approval. Once they're in his home, he has control through his security cameras, through the women who defend him, and he uses that control to keep them quiet. Once they leave Pearadise, process, and speak out to warn others, they are often retaliated against or threatened. He sued 5 women. He released nude footage of one victim to a live stream, and he threatens to post security footage.
That is a very good point, Elizu. And something, I didn't even really think about that fully until you just said that. But that's a great point, because we talk about how they're vulnerable, but their addiction is making them incredibly vulnerable. These women are not of sound mind. So I think you have to keep that. We have to accept that. I think Stefan is taking advantage of the situation, and he's also exposing himself to danger, in the sense that if something were to happen to one of these women, if they were to do something, he could end up being liable in some way. And he's letting his fetish control him and letting him put himself and these women into dangerous situations. This is somebody who's controlled by their lust. This guy's desires are taking him to a place where I don't think anything good is going to come.
That will embarrass them. All right, that is all I have for you all today. At this point, I am so curious to know what you think. I'm curious to know if any of you had heard of Pearadise or Stefan. This is by no means new. He's been doing this for a while. This defamation lawsuit took place in 2021 and 2022. But the main thing for me is just letting people know he's still active. He is still targeting new women, and he is still bringing them into his house, which means these things are likely still happening. And to make it even worse, because his behavior is already suspicious, and as I mentioned, he's known to retaliate and intimidate, he did mention in another live stream that he was thinking about adding NDAs to this whole thing.
Okay, this was recorded over a year ago, so there's possible he does have NDAs now, NDA, non-disclosure agreement, so that anybody who comes to stay with him would legally be prohibited from speaking on what occurred while they were there. His brain is rotted with lust. Absolutely. And I think that's a very fair point. He's contributing to these women's self-harm. He's enabling them to harm themselves, and he's contributing to it. He's encouraging it. He's doing everything he can to make it worse. Oh, good point, Elizu. Yeah, an NDA, that is a good point. If you do, if there's a crime It doesn't protect you from that. So again, I said this at the beginning. I'm going to say it again to reiterate. I think this is my opinion on this whole Pearadise thing. I think if Stefan were 100% upfront, if he explained to everybody involved that this is a fetish sex house, nothing more, nothing less, and if you go there, you're consenting to participate in these fetish activities, I think it'd be disgusting. But I think it would avoid a lot of the problems that have come up, because I think right now we have a situation where there's people who are being taken advantage of, and I think a lot of it is because Stefan is just not being honest. Simple as that.
So are there women who are afraid to speak out because he's got them in some sort of weird non-disclosure agreement? My brain, I cannot fathom that. And I hope that if there are women trapped in that, they will hopefully talk to a lawyer, because NDAs sometimes are not ironclad, especially when it comes to crimes being committed. I hope that today's video wasn't too dark. I hope you'll share with me how you're feeling in the comment section, because I love reading your opinions. You all always come with such great thoughts. Please.
And that is a very good point. I do agree with that, Marsha Pilly Pow. There's a lot of women who come to this house. I'm sure that some of them have been of sound mind. Some of them have probably been very unstable. So I don't want to generalize too much, but I'm sure there have been at least a couple women who've come through there who have been negatively impacted by Stefan. Yes, most of them probably would have continued to eat without him, but that doesn't make it okay for him to enable them. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Two wrongs don't make a right. If somebody eats themselves to death at his house, it may have been their decision, but he still contributed to it. So I creates a lot of complex issues of responsibility, but that's where I stand on that. So, okay. So that is the first segment on Pearadise for the evening. We've got the most famous resident. Well, she was never even a resident. She was never even there. The most famous affiliate of Pearadise, the Quirky one, the big Roz. So let me, oops, sharing the wrong tab. Hold on. Oops. Let me pull up the video I have about her where she talks about this recent event. So let me pull that up. One second, folks. Let me get get my little playlist open. Oh, actually, no, I've got a better one about Rosie. Here's the one I wanted to show. I forgot about this one. I've got an edit. Let me find it here. One second here, folks. Just got to pull up the... So this is from another channel here. This is an edit of Rosie's trip to Vegas, where she did her interview about this whole feeder house, where she did her whole big interview. This is her trip to Vegas. So in other words, she went there to give an interview about feederism and about how bad it is. And while she was there, she was recording feeder content. Yes, she was literally doing an interview to talk about the dangers of feederism and how she escaped it. And while she was there, she was recording feeder content. So thank you here to MC, the channel MC, for recording this, for providing this edit.
I'm going to buy something to drink in the next airport.
So this is her at the airport. So this is just to give you an idea. This is in Vegas where she went. This was what, like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, when she went to there to go do the interview to talk about the Pearadise house.
And if I get hungry, I've got plenty of food with me. And then, yeah.
And it's sped up just a little bit, so it's a little bit hard to hear, but hopefully it's not, let me put the volume a little bit.
The only money I've spent besides the Wendy's today is I tipped the guy who wheeled me here $10 because you guys look at me. I'm exhausted. I feel like I got run over by a truck. All right, let's get like set up. Oh my god. I am officially in the hotel. I have my sleeping bed and my bullshit bed. So my suitcase is on the bullshit bed. I saw a TikTok the other day who's like, somebody who was in a hotel by themselves, and she was like, this is my sleeping bed and this is my eating bed, and like low-key that's what's gonna happen here. I'll be over here. Well, I probably will tonight. I'm just gonna figure out what I'm doing for dinner while I'm in the pool because it's 8:30 p.m. Vegas time. I landed around 7. I have no idea how it took me.
I've not seen Rosie stand this much in a long time. When's the last time you've actually seen her stand up for more than like 30 seconds?
An hour and a half. I think it's just the chaos of everything. And anyway, I am drained, so I'm gonna go get in the pool and just like relax and stretch a bit because I had some major pain flare shit go down the second.
And as much as I want to slow it down, the audio is just too jacked, so I got to put it back.
Leg of the trip, and I did end up tipping another $10 because I really needed the wheelchair assistance that time. So I am tired, which means I have the entire pool to myself. Not a soul is here. In Las
I'm going to fast forward just a little bit because I want to get to the part where she eats.
I've never had before.
All right, so this is the feeder content. Yes, being in the bikini is borderline feeder content, but the actual eating...
I might do that. I just wanted to show you guys what I ordered for my first dinner in Vegas. I ended up choosing Lazy Dog bar. The food looked really good.
I never watched these full Vegas vlogs. I watched part of them, but I never saw the full thing.
And I was just kind of cruising around, and I wanted to try something like I've never had before. And like items I've never had before. So I don't even normally like deviled eggs, but I was so intrigued by these crispy deviled eggs.
Crispy deviled eggs. Talk about cholesterol in a ball. With bacon? Jesus. 750 calories for those 4 little eggs? That is some dense food.
I must try them, so I got them. I got some Brussels sprouts for, health. so healthy. You can tell all the health all over those Brussels sprouts.
For anybody not aware, that's the meme. I'll pull up a clip of that before the end of tonight, where Rosie is in the interview and says, they don't tell you the price you pay.
But they're gonna taste delicious. And then I got barbecue bison meatloaf. So this is meatloaf made out of bison.
So Rosie's resorting to cannibalism. She's eating a fellow bison.
And there's like string onions. Editing Rosie, look up what you ordered, bitch, and describe it, because I don't know what's fucking happening here.
1,200 calories for that potatoes and steak meatloaf thing. One thing about restaurant food, it is caloric. It is so caloric. Most restaurants. Some restaurants go out of their way to be healthy, but most restaurants are really fattening. But I mean, it looks tasty. I'll give her that. It does look tasty. I got to put the AC on. I'll be right back.
There's onions and mashed potatoes, and this looks like something to taste good. I thought I got the version without ice cream because I don't want ice cream. I really don't. But this is an apple huckleberry pie for dessert.
She doesn't like ice cream, y'all.
So I don't know if I'm gonna.
She would have preferred it without the ice cream. You know how she is. The other day, she threw out the chocolate ice cream from the freezer because, oh God, she really doesn't like chocolate ice cream, This meal here is what? 3,500 calories, easy. Maybe more.
All this or not, but.
And for anybody unaware, this is the woman who said she escaped feederism. This is the woman who no longer makes feeder content. She's eating 3,500 calorie binges on camera.
I wanted to try everything. I'm so curious about this. Looks like there's a little piece of bacon on top, deep fried egg white with a deviled egg mix and paprika on top. So I want to get the bacon in the bite. Let me try it.
You want to get the bacon in the bite. Feeder content. This is feeder content. Rosie says it's not, but it is.
I don't think I like capers. Oh my God.
Rosie will say, how is a fat person eating feeder content? Well, a fat person eating is not feeder content. Anybody eating 4,000 calories in one sitting is feeder content.
Yeah. The ones that were in the capers were gross. They're not like, I don't like capers. Noted. The ones that weren't super capery.
Crazy.
Good.
It's not even. It's not even big.
Ooh. This must be the sauce with me.
Well, at least she's working hard, right? At least she found something she really enjoys.
Oh, it's kind of like a gravy tea. So yeah, there's like string onions on this. Tomatoes. Okay.
Sea
weird.
cow.
Oh, I think it's wrapped in bacon. And then there's a layer of spinach. So like there's a layer of spinach.
I'll say that this food actually does look pretty tasty. It looks really like caloric, but it looks tasty. It does not look. I mean, I would eat that. maybe I'd need to take a nap afterward, but I would enjoy some of that. I mean, I probably couldn't eat the whole plate, but although I will say it does not look like that big as far as like by size. It just looks very caloric.
So let me.
But it looks yummy.
Try first the potatoes.
Especially if there needs some. I would like some vegetables on the side, like to cut the grease a little bit, like some fresh carrots, some broccoli or something. But other than that, it looks pretty good. But who needs this much at once, right?
So good. Oh, that bacon is this gravy is crazy. Let me try the meatloaf real quick. I don't know if I've had bison before. I might have, but I'm excited to try it.
Hey, that's the fattening part.
It's very different from a ground beef one. These deviled eggs. I don't even like deviled eggs. These shits are delicious.
I'm not a fan of deviled eggs, especially how caloric they are. I mean, those little fried eggs, 750 calories. That's just too much for some fried eggs for me.
Oh my god.
Not worth it.
I think that this food would be even better, obviously, if you ate it at location. If you're in Vegas for any reason and you're looking for like a cool place to try some like interesting things, but they still have like really good options and all that, I would highly recommend Lazy Dog. This is really good. This is really good. I just made sure to eat all the spinach out of it. I just obliterated the crispy deviled egg.
She seriously is going to leave half of this on the plate. There is no way Rosie is not eating this full meal. She ate half of it on camera, then she's going to eat the other half.
And I ate all of the Brussels sprouts minus capers. I just heated this up, so I want to try that for dessert. I'm going to throw out the ice cream because, like I said,
she's going to throw out the ice cream. You lying bee. You did not throw out the ice cream. You did not throw it out. Show us you throwing it down the sink, Rosie.
I want it. Traveling, I do try to eat vegetables. Like, you know, it smells divine. Like, it smells so good. So it's apple and huckleberry, which I'm like, I don't even know what huckleberry tastes like.
I've never had huckleberry. I don't think I have. Feta cheese and lies. It's what built Rosie's body.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna obliterate this. Breakfast for today and tomorrow for me. So I was able to bring it up to my room. I didn't want any eggs, so from the hot bar, I got a couple chicken apple sausages and a couple pork sausages.
This girl is eating she is eating so freaking much, and she keeps going. Like, this whole video is just nothing but eating almost. This is...
And some of their breakfast potatoes, and then from, like, the cold bar, I got this, like, cute little fruit Danish, and,
This is the woman who escaped feederism, mind you. This is while she was in Vegas to do an interview talking about the dangers of feederism.
It's like cinnamon pastry. I didn't even bother heating it up because I'm just tired. So I don't even know if I'm gonna eat all this.
I don't even know if I'm gonna eat all this. I've never seen somebody who always overestimates their appetite. She's always taken more food than she can eat. She just has such a small appetite. She just doesn't, she overestimates herself. She's always taking more food than she can eat.
I just filmed the like secret update that y'all aren't gonna see for forever. I just got back from everything an hour ago or half hour ago. I think it'll be good.
But
yeah. Oh, for lunch they brought In-N-Out, which was delish. I got a grilled onion Flying Dutchman, like a grilled onion wrapped Flying Dutchman, and a double with the fries because I thought that the grilled onion wrapped Flying Dutchman wouldn't be enough. I was wrong.
Because the grilled Flying Dutchman onion wrap wouldn't be enough. What was that?
Grilled onion wrapped Flying Dutchman and a double with the fries.
And a double oak? I don't even know what she's talking about. I've never even heard of these things, but they sound so fattening.
Because I thought that the grilled onion wrapped Flying Dutchman wouldn't be enough. I was wrong. I have a whole ass cheese. Being a little trepidatious with my planning because I've decided I'm gonna hit up a buffet tonight. There's an Asian buffet. It's off strip, but it's only like $19.99 a person.
Oh, I heard about that.
What I'm gonna do is
I heard about that. ALR's Discord sounded like a insane. It sounded like like people were just trolling like crazy, which is funny, which is very funny to me. Although it's not funny that allegedly somebody posted some obscene content. I'll just say it like that caused it to be deleted. Is that true? Because that's not funny. That's not a funny way to troll. You know, like I'm all for a little bit of trolling, but you know, don't do something like that. That's messed up. And what did Foodie do last night? I know she's been talking a lot of crap to her audience.
Go to the all-you-can-eat, crazy buffet. This is something. It is technically off strip, so that'll be kind of fun to check out, just like a random place in Vegas.
Exactly.
I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, and I'm really having to like combat my anxiety because, like, deep down, all I want to do is like lay in bed and stay in the hotel. Like deep down, that's like what I want in this moment. But in life, I'm going to regret it if I don't explore Vegas. So we're gonna check out a buffet like I've wanted to do. This is one of the ones I have written on my list, and I'm gonna go gamble. That's another thing I want to do. I'm gonna double check and see like if the botanical gardens or the Sphere is open 24/7.
Yeah, that's a little trolling a little too much. A little bit of a little bit of stuff to upset people's one thing, but that's taken a little bit too far. You know, that's a little that posting something illegal. That's messed up. I don't know why people would go that far, but the rest of it, hey, whatever.
While I'm out there, I might just pop over. We'll see, but it's off strip.
Oh, I heard about that actually.
To try, so let's go.
Foodie's claims that she said, she talked to Chat GPT that told her she could wait the day, and the reason she didn't want to go to the ER was because she needed to bathe. She was too dirty and smelly, so she didn't want to go to the ER. Well, first of all, that's nasty. Second of all, if you really think that your health is in that danger, then just wash yourself. Just do it and go.
All right, so we went for like a big sampling of stuff. So to start, this was the kimchi, which this was a cold bar, I guess. So there was some chopped up octopus. This is some like dressed coconut.
Hold on a second here. This audio is a little distorted.
Shrimp, I guess. And then, the crawfish and half a thing of steamed crab. This was mussels with cheese, beef and broccoli. And then what was the next thing? I'm taking a minute there. Oh my God. That's fried calamari. That's some kind of beef and gravy, I think. A lot of this was not labeled very well, by the way. Those are string beans, I believe, in some kind of brown sauce or peanut sauce. That's supposed to be crab rangoon that I'm picking up there with the tongs. And a gyoza. And then I'm grabbing something else. What was that? Oh, chicken on a stick. Yep.
I like the that Mongolian barbecue. I guess you call it the hibachi. That's what we call it down here, Mongolian barbecue, where they have like a hibachi and you bring the raw meat and the pork and stuff. I've seen some good Chinese buffets. I've seen a lot of terrible Chinese buffets. I've seen some good ones. But generally there's more bad than good. But if you know a good one, enjoy it. But most of them I've been to are not too good. And also I will say that the hygiene in a lot of those places is pretty poor. I used to work like at a state licensing kind of capacity, and part of what we did was deal with like food inspection, hotel inspection, that kind of stuff, and different restaurants. You can't always generalize, but in general, the Chinese buffets seem to have the biggest problems with hygiene and stuff. And another thing you might be interested in, a lot of these Chinese buffets, they call them Chinese buffets, but like there's not any Chinese people working there, and like the food is not like actual Chinese food. It's just called the Chinese buffet. But like there's really not much Chinese. I mean, not some of them are, but you get what I'm saying. Most of them are just They're just called Chinese buffet, but they're not actually Chinese. They're just called that.
That's what that is. And then the next thing up here, we just have a spring roll, a piece of fried banana, and I think that's everything. Okay, so I want to do like a little bit of trying some of this stuff and just kind of giving a little bit of a review, I guess. I don't know if this will actually make it into the vlog or not, because this is treading a little lightly in what I'm trying to do here. But
right? Like she asked ChatGPT questions like that, but if only she would bother to ask ChatGPT, questions like, should I take my insulin every day? Should I check my blood sugar every day? Should I take my metformin?
What do I even start with?
Should I stop eating like a pig?
Kimchi first.
Should I pray 5 times a day? I'd love to see her ask ChatGPT about Islam. That's what I want to see Foodie do. I want to see her ask ChatGPT if she's a good Muslim. That's what I want to see. Darn right, Miss Nat. Foodie does not care.
It's not bad kimchi. It's just really hot. I've never had cheese and mussels together.
I'm the same way, Elizu. I'm not a huge eater. Even when I was heavy, I was not somebody who ate a lot at once. I tended to kind of graze over the course of the day. I would eat a lot, but I wasn't somebody who was like a big eater. My father was though, and my mom is, which is funny. Like both of my parents, that's growing up. That's probably why I was fat growing up, because my dad would eat like so much food, like crazy amounts of food, like whole pizza and stuff. And he wasn't like super fat. He was heavy, but he wasn't like super fat. But he would eat like crazy. He should have been like super fat, but he wasn't. My mother, to this day, she eats way too much. But I'm pretty good about not overeating at the moment. But yeah, it's a waste of money when I go to a buffet.
Overcooked, but it tastes really good. I don't really taste the cheese very much. Chicken on a stick. That's delicious. This is fried calamari.
At the Chinese buffet? Yeah, or Filipinos. I've noticed a lot of Filipinos run them.
No.
At least down here there are.
Flavorless and rubbery. The crab rangoon is falling apart. Is the sweetness that's really pleasant? I'm so excited to have these. I love these like soft buns.
I'm happy you got a good place though. I mean, good is good. I'm not a snob when it comes to food. The best Chinese food I ever had was just like a little storefront place next to a Publix. It was just like a little plaza out in the, wasn't like really any, was like it was just a small town. But they had this amazing chef from Hong Kong. I guess maybe that's where he liked to live. And he was just an incredibly good chef. And he had this little restaurant, and his mom was the waitress. And that was it. And it was like the best Chinese food I ever had. It was so good. It was so good. And it was in a place where there were no good restaurants. There were no good restaurants there. All the restaurants there were awful. All they had were chains and like mon pop diners. And the diners were lousy. Like it was a small town, no good restaurants, but they had this amazing Chinese chef. And I love to go to his restaurant. It was so good.
I think it is called string beans. They're in some kind of brown sauce, but there was a description.
No, I do not. I am an only child, blessed, cursed. Growing up, I thought it was I thought it was a cool thing. I never had to share my toys, but as an adult, I think it probably would have been better if I had some brothers and sisters, but it wasn't my choice. Dumplings can be tasty. Dumplings can be very tasty. Speaking of dumplings, we got the biggest dumpling of all right here, QLR, consuming her little dumplings.
I have to say, so far everything is like really lukewarm, and I don't love that. This is really good. Oh, I think it's in some kind of peanut sauce, or I just tasted some kind of nut. This is the beef and broccoli. It's completely hard. That's like not even.
I just want to reiterate, this is feeder content, because when you're as big as Rosie and you're eating all the time and you do nothing but eat all day and you pose in a bikini, it's feeder content. It just is. It just is. I mean, if you don't, maybe you don't want it. Maybe we don't like that it is. Maybe we'd like to say stuff like, why does it have to be feeder content? Ask a feeder. They'll tell you why.
I didn't steam that at all. We have crab. I'm gonna try this.
I think it does a little.
I don't know how to eat this.
I'm weird. I don't deny it.
But it tastes really good. I feel like I barely got any meat out of that. I think this is a crawfish. I have no idea how to eat this.
Yummy. What's going on? Is she?
I gotta keep my face in check.
Huh? What's going on here? What's?
This is a crawfish.
So she's never had a crawfish before. Rosie, you only eat the tail. You just kind of suck the guts out. You don't actually like eat all the little bits of guts. And she's trying to actually eat the guts. Look at it. She's taking it apart. Finally, we finally found something she won't eat.
I gotta keep my face in check. People eat that willingly. People.
Oh, come on, Rosie. You're being such a wimp. I've eaten crawfish before. They're not especially good, but they're not, I don't know. They're okay. They don't have like a super strong taste. They're kind of like, think like a super bland, like kind of shrimp. Maybe a little bit like a crab taste. It's just like a generic shellfish taste, but it's kind of bland. It's not like a super strong taste. At least the ones I had. I mean, maybe not all crawfish are created equal, but the ones I had, they did not have like a super strong seafood taste. They just kind of tasted like the sauce.
The temperature of this plate is upsetting me. You can buy these at any grocery store. I got a little fried boisa.
Yeah, and this buffet is pretty crappy looking. At first, I wanted to kind of keep my mind open, but these look like stuff they bought at the store and just reheated it. None of this stuff looks homemade. Only children unite.
Coconut shrimp.
Really? Well, you're in for a treat, Glitter Files.
This tastes like pot roast, like American pot roast in chunks. Has the same flavor profile, you know? It's not bad. It's not Asian food at all.
Rosie just sucks in general, so I'm surprised she didn't figure that out.
This is octopus. That's surprisingly good. It has a really like delicious sauce and flavor to it. A little bit of the kimchi on it too, which I actually think is helping.
Do you live in the States?
Grocery store frozen.
Because here in the United States, the portion sizes in restaurants are absurd. It's not even a question of if the portions are reasonable. I cannot remember going to a restaurant where they served a portion that could be considered small. Unless you like buy like unless you intentionally like go to a place where they serve like tiny little lunch meals for $4.90, like $7.95 kind of thing. Unless you're going to like the discount lunch plate. If you're going to any place where it's just like a regular full service restaurant, the dinners are at least for two people. They're just that big. You can't expect to eat the whole thing. And if you try to eat the whole thing, you're going to end up with a stomach ache or you're going to end up overeating and getting heavy possibly, because the portions are just too darn big. They give you like a plate that's got the 1,800 calories worth of food. They give you like a 16-ounce steak and a giant a giant potato and a big old salad and a bowl of soup and a loaf of bread and a pitcher of beer. I mean, it's just too much food. It's just too much stuff.
Spring roll. I'm unhappy. We'll convene later.
Oh, geez,
that was honestly one of the most disappointing meals.
I had friends with a bunch of siblings, and some of them it seemed okay, but most of them used to fight with their brothers all the freaking time. Or I remember like I remember I used to get along with my friends' brothers, and it was funny because my friends and their brothers would always like hate each other, and I don't think they didn't hate each other, but they were always like fighting, and like I always got along really good with my friends' brothers. I don't, you know, it's odd. Like I was an only child, but I always got along well with like the other kids. I always had a lot of friends growing up. I didn't have brothers or sisters, but I always had like, you know, I was always a pretty well liked kid. I always got along with other people in that way.
I have ever had everything, and I mean everything, was lukewarm, if not cold. Even the stuff that tasted good. The crab rangoons like, were falling at the seams, falling apart. I am so upset. Like,
oh, okay.
I am. Hit 3. Okay, but you can hit 3.
I'm gonna say that Roz is not an ugly woman, but she is so darn big. Even her face is not like the way it should look normally. Like her face is blown out. It's so fat.
3, 4, 5. Really nice guy here, but he made $50 off of me. So this is the most expensive zero sugars soda I've ever had. No. I thought I should take it earlier. I think I am gonna spend my last $10 here. My last $10 for gateway. Thank God there's an elevator, because if you don't know something about me, I have a pathological, terrifying.
Yeah, like I've noticed that too. Like Japanese restaurants, French restaurants. What else? Generally, the finer restaurants I've been to generally serve smaller portions, because they also usually like it's meant to be like multi-course. Like you got the soup and the salad, and you got the hors d'oeuvres, and you've got the dessert, and you get a bottle of wine. You know, you get all that kind of stuff. So they give you they give you less to eat, because they know that you're going to be because you're going to be eating a whole bunch of different stuff. But yeah, like a lot of places, they just give you too darn much food.
Fear of escalators, and I would literally just go home if there wasn't an elevator. I can't believe a stranger walked up to me and asked me for a photo. For a few minutes, because I sat here to wait for the show to start.
That is a good point, Marcia. If you go to a restaurant, definitely make plans to take something home. And if you get the right item and you can reheat it, sometimes it's actually not a bad deal. You get 2 days worth of food, it might actually not be and the price might seem a lot more reasonable.
And then walk up the stairs, and then so yeah. Anyway, they called me up there to take photos with the backdrop of the strip, which I didn't even think to do. So I'm very excited about that. I hope I don't look too sweaty, because your girl is sweaty.
Oh, welcome in, Blush Face. Hopefully you're having a good night. If this is this your first time in here? I don't remember your name before, but welcome in. Always glad to have a new chatter.
From all the walking I've been doing. It's almost midnight. I need to go back to my hotel. I'm already feeling a little overwhelmed. Like I want to just go lie down, but I have to walk all the way to the Uber spot. And I might just not even do that. I might just say fuck it to the included breakfast, because I want to go to the Hello Kitty Cafe anyway, and I could just go there for breakfast and sleep in.
For me, it's really just she's so big, I can't even imagine like what. I mean, I usually look at somebody and think like, oh, I bet if this person, like maybe if they worked out a little bit, they'd really look good. They'd really, they look like close to being in really good shape, or maybe they look like they used to be really good, or maybe you'll see somebody who's a little older, and you're like, oh, I bet she was hot when she was younger, that kind of thing. Roz, she's so darn big, I can't look past it. All I can see is her fatness, because she might be the fattest person on YouTube at this point. She's bigger than Foodie. Like the other day I was looking at Foodie. It's not even a question. Roz is way bigger than Foodie. Glitter's on vacation, so the only one who can really take her on would be ALR. I haven't seen Amber in a while, so maybe. But Amber is a lot shorter. Amber is like what, like 4 inches shorter, 5 inches shorter, or something. So Roz might be the biggest.
I'm popped off. So this is just water. Because I was so thirsty. So tired.
She's sweaty. Jesus.
I don't know how I'm gonna function.
It's all right.
I think I'm making an executive call.
Just want to point out here, any newcomers, anyone else, I try to watch my language in general, but you all can say whatever you want as long as you're not upsetting anybody else in the chat. But yeah, and you don't have to agree with me. You're allowed to disagree as well.
Who knows when my body's gonna wake me up, like last night. But I'm not setting my alarm till like 10 a.m. Because I need to sleep. And I want to go to the Hello Kitty Cafe anyway. So breakfast ends at 10, and I could set it to 9 and go downstairs and get some sausages and a fruit Danish again, and it would be delicious.
It's hard for me to judge Amber's weight and her size because she carries so much weight in her legs, and she doesn't really like give you like a full body image. Like she doesn't do like a lot of full body shots. She's always kind of covering up her lower body. You can't really get a good look at her actual bulk. And I don't watch her that often either, but I do know that the few times I have watched her, she's a little hard to get a good look at her. Whereas Roz, when she stands up in front of the camera, you can really see it.
It's 5:30, and it is currently after midnight, and I just did a bunch of walking and standing.
Which is something she doesn't do anymore either.
If you can't have hot food when it's still like active dinner rush hours, even if it's the tail end of the dinner rush.
Yeah, and sandbags usually can stop water from flowing. So that's pretty impressive.
Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I wasn't expecting 5-star food. If the food had been warm, I honestly probably would have mostly enjoyed the buffet. God, I have not been hydrating enough this trip. I definitely need to hydrate like tonight and in the morning, so that way I can like go to the bathroom before I get on the plane. Because when I tell you, I used the airplane toilet for the first time, I think. But bro, when I tell you, sardine in a can. I don't know how the fuck I finagled that. So like, if it's an emergency, at least I know I can use an airplane toilet.
Imagine being on the airplane and you need to go use the bathroom, and you're right about to get up and do it, and you see Rosie walk into the bathroom before you can use it. How would you feel in that moment? You're right about to get up, you're like, geez, I'm not going to make it to the landing. I'm going to have to use the airport. You have to use the restroom on the plane. You get up, you go to use it, and you see, this girl just went in there. What do you do? What do you do? Do you radio for backup? I mean, you got a problem.
I don't want to do that again. God forbid if I have to go number 2. That ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna suffer. Shane like cooked me up, and they've upgraded the snacks at Southwest, which I was unaware of.
I was thinking, Rosie, if she really needed to go badly, she's so big, they could just open up the door, and her bulk would keep her from getting sucked out, and she could just go right there, and it would, right? I feel like the air pressure wouldn't be able to pull her through the door. She would jam it up. So she could just go like that if she really had to in an emergency.
So, yeah. And like, they'll give you as many Diet Cokes as you ask for on Southwest too. I'm gonna eat a high chew.
Good advice, Nutty. Good advice.
I actually I got 2 plates of the buffet.
Oh, and let me mention also, that's my tip. The best, well, I shouldn't say that. Well, I think the most important factor in choosing a buffet, a good buffet, is the turnover of the food. If the place is crowded and they keep putting out fresh plates of food, that's a good sign, and the food is usually pretty fresh. But if they don't have a lot of turnover and the food just sits in the tray for 2 hours at a time, chances are they're not cooking up fresh plates of food in the back, and they're just using one bowl of food that they cooked yesterday, and they've just been scooping it out of there for the last 2 days. So that's something to keep in mind. The amount of turnover of the food is something you want to pay attention to.
Didn't finish either of them. The second one, I left a surprising amount of food on the plate because I was just so irritated.
Good advice.
Oh shit, yeah. You have to eat something with ibuprofen. I could hurt your stomach, I guess. I'm really overstimulated, and I was thinking earlier as I was walking, I was like, yeah, when I go home, I'm gonna have a pretty epic meltdown. That'll be off camera, because I don't melt down on camera. But I'm so overstimulated. I'm probably gonna have a meltdown, and that's gonna suck. But you know, dealing with like my chronic pain.
Oh, the chronic pain again. Her and the chronic pain. And I do believe she might have chronic pain, but diabetic neuropathy is a thing. I'm not an expert on diabetes, but I've heard a lot about it after covering Girl World for a couple years now. And from what I hear, diabetic neuropathy is very common in people once you get over a certain size. And there's no reason to believe why Rosie wouldn't be experiencing that. There's also just the added pressure of the on her arms. I noticed this the other day because she's always sitting. It puts a lot more leverage or worse leverages on her wrists and hands and shoulders and elbows. When you're standing up and you're cooking, you have your arms down at your sides and it's not putting a lot of stress on them. But when you're sitting, you have to have your arms completely stretched out at all times. So she's always got her arms stretched out in front of her, and she's always reaching up above her to put a spoon in the pot. Normally, you reach down to scoop something out. She has to reach up and over to scoop something out. That's why she hates to deep fry, because she can't deep fry sitting down. So I think that's also why she has a lot of hand pain, because when you stand up, it takes the pressure off your arms. When you're sitting down, your arms are fully outstretched. It creates a lot more leverage.
Neurodivergency can just be a lot. And but I don't know if I showed this to you guys. This is my Candy Aura quartz, and I held on to it during the interview a bit today, and kept it on the table in front of me for the majority of it, so that way it wasn't like picked up on.
Do you mean kilograms? Because I really do believe she's got to be over 6 at this point. And it's hard to estimate weight. Like, in fairness, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I couldn't have told you anybody's weight. But after studying Foodie and Amber and glitter and lasers for as long as I have, I feel confident that this girl is well over 500 pounds.
But it brought me a lot of comfort. It's really pretty. Look how pretty that is. You know? It's about to be 11 a.m. and my flight doesn't leave till 4:35. So I'm going to be trying to get to the airport around 2. I think I should have enough time to do everything I want to do.
Hey, she could be. We don't know for sure. But my guess is she's over 6. But but we all got to...
Because I don't need to spend a ton of time on everything. But if not, if I don't have the energy, if I end up just sitting in the hotel lobby because they can't hold my suitcase, we'll see. I'm so tired. I can't stress you how tired I am. Have tip money for the wheelchair assistance because no way in hell am I walking any of these airports. I'm not doing it. You said I can't miss it, but I'm pretty dumb sometimes.
It's been a while since I've been on a plane, but I don't think she could fit in there. I mean, it was a tight squeeze for me, and I mean, I maybe not a tight squeeze, but it wasn't comfortable. It's a small, cramped little room, and for a man of average height and above average weight, it's small. It's definitely on the small side. So I cannot, I don't know, Rosie could not fit into there. She could not fit into there. And Jesus, this angle. I always thought she had good skin. Maybe it's just the camera angle that's damn. Maybe she just does her makeup really well.
So, let's pray for me. It says about a 4 or 5 minute walk. 0.2.
This is some grungy looking hair. Jeez, it looks so powdery. It looks like it's full of dry shampoo, because it probably is.
Miles. Not too bad, but I wasn't exactly looking for a walk. But it's okay. We will get to the Hello Kitty Cafe. Thank you. Oh, that's a good lemonade. But yeah, so we've got this here. That is like one of the best strawberry lemonades I've ever had, actually.
Another sugary drink. And I just want to make it clear, I've said this before, I don't hate on anybody for being big, but Rosie is such a hypocrite She claims that she escaped feederism. She's making feeder content. She talks all the time about her chronic pain, but she won't even see a doctor. She lies and claims that she was denied health care when she just hasn't applied, or maybe she makes too much money. She just makes stuff up on a regular basis, and she blames everything for her problems except for herself. And I will say this, if she wants to blame somebody for her problems, her parents had her at 500 pounds before she graduated high school. That is abuse. That's like really terrible. When I learned that, I didn't realize that until recently. And that is disturbing, that Rosie was 500 pounds by the time she left high school. That is crazy.
I'm starting out my morning with a lot of sugar, don't judge me. There's like a really cute cookie that had like a nice like white face design on it. But for breakfast, I thought this would be better. Look at how cute that is.
That is cute. Okay,
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
agree. I will admit, that is cute. It probably costs like $30, but it is cute. Let's get another look at that.
Really cute cookie that had like a nice like white face design on it. But for breakfast, I thought this would be better.
For breakfast. Do you hear what she just said? They had a cookie with a white face design, but for breakfast, she thought this would be a better choice. How many breakfasts do you need? Didn't they give you a breakfast at the hotel? But yes, this is a cute cookie.
Look at how cute that is. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna take some pictures of these before I eat them. Gosh. Beautiful.
But what was it? Sitting on Fofos, tipping on Fofos, sitting on Fofos. I remember that song.
Pastry
Still
with strawberry
tipping.
jam, sugar, crystals, and a fondant bow. It's just like, take a minute. Candor. It's pretty dry. It's not bad, totally edible.
It's not bad, totally edible. That's not exactly an endorsement. It's totally edible. Okay, so it's not very good. Well, it looked cute. And I will say most foods that look cute are usually not that good unless they're like from some kind of a gourmet restaurant. Because usually you can either make it look nice or you can make it taste nice. If you can make it do both, you're either a really good chef or you've got a really easy recipe or something. I don't know.
You just have to go into it knowing you're buying it for the Instagram pic. You know what I mean? Let's try a bite together. Oh.
And here she's got this thing looks really cute. I'll agree with that. It looks really nice. But does it taste good?
Oh, that's amazing.
All right, well, she likes that
They're
one.
delicious. I would rate the raspberry lemonade like a... No! No! Oh, thank God I didn't get myself. Okay.
Who
I
is
lost
my
like a dollar
Jones?
right there. But, a 9.5 out of 10 for strawberry lemonade. I didn't bother looking up the menu.
Oh, and I posted a link to this video as well. This is an edit of Rosie's Vegas vlogs. Thankfully, a channel MC cut them down to 30 minutes total. So be sure to give this a view if you'd like to see the original.
So I probably need to buy something with protein to eat at some point before I fly today. If not, I'll figure something out.
Oh, and by the way, somebody said that she's eating like this because it was all paid for. No, it wasn't. She only got $100 to spend on food. And you know that was gone on that Hello Kitty breakfast that paid the... She only got $100 to spend on food and entertainment and stuff. That did not last very long the way she's eating. That first meal alone was probably $60, $70.
And this has like, I can't say, is it Gruyere cheese?
Gruyere.
Do you know how to say Gruyere cheese? Gruyere cheese? Fried onions.
Am I right? Gruyere? I always heard it pronounced Gruyere. Am I wrong?
Onions. I got a double. I think there's some kind of aioli on it.
Look at this burger she got. She got the Grease Ball Supreme. That is so much cheese and so much beef on there. I mean, that is just... This is feeder content, straight up. I don't have... I'm just repeating myself at this point, but it is.
That's really good.
Okay, and I planned.
First of all, that's really good. That burger needs a sliced tomato or a slice of lettuce or something. I am not a vegetable fan. I'm not a big vegetable eater, but even I would want something on there just to break up all that greasiness.
My back hurts heavy, my shoulders hurt.
and I'm tired, but I'm gonna set out to do everything I plan to do. So.
The big one. Yeah, the straw. I think that big strawberry or the raspberry cookie with the cream probably was around that much. Probably around 4 something to 5 something. I think that the first one, the pastry one with the strawberry filling, was probably a little bit less. That was probably more like around 3. But yeah, still caloric stuff. And the drink was probably around 220 maybe, because that looked like a 24-ounce drink. Coca-Cola. Now, I am not a fan of Coca-Cola. I'm just not. I like soft drinks, but I just, the whole branding thing, it's just too much. It's just too much. I'm not into wearing a brand name, to that extent. No shade at anybody who does enjoy it, but it's just, I'm not into the whole branding thing. Coca-Cola is just, it says everything and says nothing. The more her feeders like it too, right?
This is what you get for $19. And there's a QR code you have to, it's like Taiwanese, I believe. Ooh,
oh, she had hidden candy
very
bars? I didn't even notice that.
Is that here?
Oh, I think this is a good time as any. Let me take a moment to thank all of the channel members. This upcoming Saturday, there will be a members-only stream. So all of you fine folks, be sure to come over to the stream this Saturday. Planning around, I'm not sure if I should do it later in the day. We got a lot of members in the chat today. Anybody who's a member, would you prefer I ran it later in the day or earlier in the day? Because I've Saturday, this Saturday, I have an option. I could do it later or earlier. So I can either do it like in the evening or I could do it in the day. Whichever, we'll see. And let me take a moment also to thank the Tier 2 channel members. We have 2 Tier 2 members at the moment, Canada Cool and the Glitter Files 69. Thank you for your memberships. And a Tier 2 membership entitles you to an individual shout out on the weekly stream. So thank you to all the channel members. You're all very much appreciated. And if anybody is not a channel member and you'd like to help out the channel, if you click that like button, it costs absolutely nothing and it provides a lot of help. So thank you so much to everybody. So just to make anybody not clear exactly what's going on here, this is a Coca-Cola museum, Coca-Cola store, Coca-Cola center, Coca-Cola capital, whatever. And they have a variety of drinks. You can get a sampler platter where they give you 20 different kinds of cola. This is the Tanzania Cola. Stony Tangawizi is a naturally flavored sparkling ginger beer. Sounds good.
Wow, that's very ginger. Is that here?
Fanta strawberry. I would actually really love this. I love soda. I love sweets. This would be a really fun thing for me. I also like international stuff. I'm always interested in exotic, like stuff from other places. Sounds sophisticated. I'm interested in exotic stuff from other places. So yes, I think I would enjoy this Coca-Cola tasting.
Huh. Better descriptions than that.
Catching flies.
This would be really good to make mocktails with, or cocktails. Ooh. Ooh, I don't think I'm gonna like this one. I think this may be a tea base. I'm not entirely sure.
It is.
Oh no. No, not for me.
Oh, what was this one? Okay, so she's drinking all these ones. Malawi Mazoe Blackberry. Available as a sweet blackberry syrup flavored syrup in Africa. Okay, so that's interesting. Oh, I did notice that in a lot of other countries, because they don't have distribution of groceries the same way, what they'll do is they'll sell the syrup and then they get they carbonate the water themselves. They have like a soda stream kind of thing, and they make their own sodas using the syrups. Interesting.
It quite literally tastes like melted down candy diluted in water, which tracks. raspberry creamy, I think. Again, I'm going off memory here. Not my strong suit. Let's do a little taste test.
I'm actually going to skip through this just a little bit because I'm not going to hate on her enjoying the sodas because I would enjoy the sodas myself. So I'm just going to leave that alone.
I'm not doing well. I got my suitcase. I'm waiting for my Uber to the airport. It's like 2:50.
Okay, so she said here she spent $290, and that includes all the food though. I don't know how accurate that is because I could imagine her spending $290 just on food. I have trouble believing that also included all of her rides and all of her tips and everything.
I got my suitcase. I'm waiting for my Uber to the airport. It's like 2:30. Takeoff is in 2 hours, so I should be okay. Thank God for wheelchair assistance, because I wouldn't have been able to experience Vegas with my limited mobility.
If I saw Rosie at the Coca-Cola place, I don't know. I think that she was auditioning to be a polar bear or something.
So it's like a Vegas souvenir too. It does. Every inch of my body hurts. They were like, I got in the plus.
Yes,
we
jackets. We need
that might be more
jackets.
comfortable. And I was like, oh, yeah, I mean, I'd be okay.
That would be pretty cool one if I had my own Docta Phil jackets. You could wear those, that everybody would know like you're a total dork and to leave you alone.
Then he said something, I remember what, and I was like, oh, like, would it be easier for you to push me in that other chair? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, then let me get in the other chair. And it's much more spacious and much more comfortable. Quite enjoy it. Because I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
And now look at her. I mean, she says she doesn't feel well. She's having her flare-ups. What are the odds that this is just her blood sugar totally out of control? Her blood sugar is sky high and she feels like crap. And because she's been eating stuff like 20 cups of Coca-Cola. This is pretty clear self-harm at this point. And you know, YouTube talks all that mess about they don't want to show on here, but apparently this is okay still. I grew up with Fanta Apple. It was very nice, but discontinued. I'd probably like to try that. I like fruit-flavored drinks. I love grape soda, but it's so sugary. I can't really have it very often. I never really drink soda. I love it, but I never really drink it because it is fattening. I had a can of root beer the other day, but that's pretty much it. Like I have soda very rarely, maybe like once a year, twice a year kind of thing. But I love it, but I just don't ever drink it anymore. I don't know. Just can't have it all, right? You got to give something up. Don't like the Coke Zero like the diet, the traditional flavor. She knows the camera is her best friend. The Uber couldn't accommodate her. Very good point. Very good point. All right, so let's continue.
So I'm just thankful to have access to these resources right now. So.
Expired.
Whee! Yes, I do.
You'd think that they were eating the other Americans or something, because you'd think that it wouldn't be possible to get this big off of regular food.
And energy level wise, I was just like, fuck it. Like $8 is still more than the customary $5 tip that most people give. And I try to tip more than $5 just because I'm a larger person and I'm very aware of that. And so it is harder to push me. So
That is such a great point. That is such a great point. She did this whole trip to Vegas. She specifically remarked, well, you know, I couldn't really enjoy it as I wanted to because of my limited mobility. So I had to hire people to push me around in a wheelchair, but at least it was better than nothing. You'd think that would have made her think, hey, I would like to not be quite so debilitated, quite so immobile, quite so incapacitated in my next trip. Maybe I could lose a little weight. If nothing else, I could at least take care of my blood sugar so I don't feel so ill. I have one of her peen flares. She's chronic autoimmune, right? Nothing to do with her being fat. Only the finest rhinestones for you, Miss Nat.
more. That's how it works. I'll say that watching me back and hearing my breathing and knowing how much pain I've been through on this trip is something that I'm not ignoring as much as some of you might think I am. I am fully aware that outside of like the neurodivergence and chronic pain of it all, a lot of my pain and struggle on this trip was based in my weight, and that sucks. So, yeah. And in all honesty, I've been thinking about how I want to shift things for my health. And I do feel a lot of trepidation and fear about launching into like a weight loss journey again, because I feel like I really failed the first time, and I fully had like a cycle of like being healthier, doing all these things, and then just totally like railroading myself.
One thing I've noticed about the girls with all their weight loss journeys, I can't speak for anybody else. Well, I can speak for a few other people. I can't speak for everybody else. Say it like that. I can't speak for everybody who's been fat. But I can speak for a lot of people who've been fat, in that losing weight is tough, but keeping it off is the really hard part. Keeping it off long term, at least. So the fact that none of the girls, well, I shouldn't say none of them, but for the most part, they can barely even stay on a diet for a week. Like, I can understand keeping weight off is hard. But like Foodie can't even diet for 2 days. She can't even make it 24 hours. Rosie did lose some weight. She did have a period of time where she did have some effective weight loss. And it's just frustrating. It's got to be frustrating for her to think about that she did have a little bit of success and it's all gone. And now she doesn't even want to try. She's scared to even try it again. And I in these moments are when I do feel a little sympathy for these girls, but only so much, considering this is a feeder trip.
If not like a couple months ago, I decided that like I was gonna wait till after this trip to start trying to make like real logistical changes in my life. And so I haven't looked at those photos, and I scrolled back to when I was at like my smallest weight, and I just didn't realize how different I looked. And that was like another moment for me, another wake-up call. So I am glad that I let myself do what I wanted to do, enjoy the food that I wanted to enjoy. It didn't go crazy at the buffet. I mean, it wasn't good, but
this is crazy. First off, Marsha Pillow, as much as I don't like Foodie, I'm never going to hate on somebody being positive. I think that's a good thing. I think that shows a lot of good things, that we try to see the positive in others. So I'll never hate on that. I try to be positive, but I've also just kind of stopped even trying with some of these girls, because it's frustrating for myself, right? I don't want to invest too much of my own energy, but I respect that. Right? It looks like she didn't really explore very much. Very true, Glitter Files. Very true. Ooh, I didn't even think of that, but I didn't even realize that. When she came out of the plane, she was wheeled out. I didn't even realize that.
Even still, I wasn't planning on going crazy at the buffet anyway.
I'm not here to shame anybody who needs a wheelchair, but it's very different when you choose to use a wheelchair. It's one thing if you need one. It's another thing to say, hey, I'm not going to watch my weight. It doesn't matter if I need a wheelchair. I'd rather use a wheelchair than stop eating. That's what you're doing, Rosie.
And I wasn't like eating a bunch of food. Like, if I didn't like something, if I got full, I just didn't finish it. I will be doing lives, but the frequency of them may dwindle. And with that being the case, my goal is going to be to use these vlogs to launch me back into at least making vlogs more often than I have been these past few months. And I will let you guys know when I know.
All right, that's
what that's going to look like. But there's going to be a little bit of shake up in the content, because I'm about to shake up my life. And I hope that y'all are buckled up and ready.
Well, and that never happened. And it would have been nice if it did. Like I said, I don't like Rosie, but I don't hate her. I'm not a hateful person. You have to really do something bad to me personally for me to really have a problem with you. So, yeah, I don't hate her. I just don't really care for her. I don't respect her, but I don't hate her. But I agree. Little changes. When I lost all that weight, it started out by just cutting out some junk food. I started out by just cutting out the sweets, cut out the fast food, cut out the snacks. Then I added some exercise. Then I started to eat healthier, and just one thing led to another. And now I'm, on a maintenance program. I don't really stress my diet too much, and it's, but at the same time, I don't go too crazy either, right? I don't let myself go totally off the diet. I love that. I love that. Congratulations to you, Nirvana. Also, you've been kicking butt in the gym the last couple of years. You've been making so much progress for yourself. And congratulations to anybody in the chat who's done well for themselves. And congratulations to and let me say it like this. And my respect to anybody who's even tried. Because that's more than a lot of these girls have done, right? It's not just about success. It's about effort. It's about putting in that effort. And we can't always get the success we want. But you don't give up. You keep on working. And eventually, the difference will happen. May not be the difference you'd like. May not be at the rate you'd like it, but it'll happen. It'll happen. So let me put on a little clip of Foodie to end it. I think that's what we're going to end it with, some Foodie tonight. Because we're running a little bit late, but I don't mind. I got nowhere to be till tomorrow morning. So let me put on a little short Foodie edit that I've got here. It's a short one. And from her stream last night. And then I think we'll probably close it out. So let me pull that up real quickly. One second here. And I got this Foodie edit from a channel called Looney Foodie Beauty, formerly known as the Looney Tubes. A really great clip channel if you're interested in Chantal. Let me post the link in the chat. So let's continue.
Hi, everybody. Who did I? Porsche Puppy Raw Olives. Whoa, shit. Whoa, shit. Sorry, shoot. Yeah. Are you okay? Well, I mean, I don't know, like, exactly, because I need some fresh air. My blood pressure has been high, but I talked to a nurse. You can call this number, 811, and they'll have a nurse call you when they assess you. And she suggests...
It's okay. So give a little background. Foodie claimed that she had high blood pressure, which I believe. She claimed she had high blood pressure, 198 over... Excuse me, not 198. It was 160 over 98. That's what it was. 160 over 98, which is pretty high. I don't know if that's like dangerously high, but that's high, especially when you're somebody like Foodie who's in poor health.
I said that I should see a doctor, like my doctor, within 24 hours, but my doctor, like I have a doctor. I found a doctor, okay, that I'm gonna go to, but they're only available in 5 days. So I don't know what to do. I think I'm just gonna be really careful about like taking care of myself until I can see him. Unless I go to the hospital tomorrow, I don't really know what to do. Or a clinic. I could call. I don't know.
I think that that's one of the things that I do like about I mean, all of the girls, as much as I may, for most of them, I may generally dislike them. There's things about them that I like. There's things about all of them that I like. I can always find something good in somebody. Like Foodie has a good sense of humor sometimes. Rosie seems to care for her brother at times. Glitter and Lasers, what about her? She has a lot of she's good at social media. There you go. I can find something good about all the girls.
It's like I have to go in person. It was 163 over 98. It's not funny. That's really not funny. I booked for 5 days. So Monday. So in the meantime, might have to go to the ER. Because 5 days is a long time. Really.
That's genuinely, that's my favorite
Yeah.
part too. I love when Foodie goes up on the reactors because she gets so upset. And that is funny to me too. I do genuinely enjoy when she goes up on the reactors.
I mean, I'm just like on top of every other comorbidity or whatever. I'm stressed. Just go to the clinic. Which clinic? Blood pressure meds. What are the side effects of those? We don't have like urgent care here. It's not the same as in the States. Everything's in the ER. It is. Oh my God, there's too much gray in my chat. Y'all should be green. Everyone should become a member.
I like
You
it
know
when
what? I
she
don't blame
plays
you.
the villain.
It's like the middle of the night.
I think that Foodie needs to lean into her role as the villain of Girl World. She has no problem being hated. She just needs to lean into it and just be that villain and just accept that and just stop trying to get good attention and just accept the negative attention and make even more money doing it. Because I don't think she can reverse it. She can't go back to, she's not going to get people to like her again. So she may as well just lean into the villain role.
Not even consistent on here anymore. I get it. The economy sucks.
Seriously.
Yeah, it does. Why does it suck so bad? I know. I'm only teasing, guys. I'm only teasing. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I guess, I took the Advil and it actually worked with the headache, so. Us pores are awake late. We all don't work, that's why. Hey, ECP! No, I'm just joking. Where's the vlog? Sorry. It's a pain in the ass. I have to do the voiceover. Fuck. I have to do the voiceover. So I'm having to I don't know, it's hard. Teardrop! Am I ever freaking glad to see you? I'm glad to see all you guys, by the way, but yes, I have something.
Oh, and anybody not aware, Foodie recently, the Ottawa Animal Control came to visit her because somebody reported her for abusing her cat. And she refused to let them see her, and then they came back, and I think she eventually let them in.
It's okay. I look like one of my aunts. And you know what? As a kid, I remember looking at her and thinking, God, I don't want to end up looking like her. I don't want to be mean. And now I look like her. It's on my dad's side.
And a bag of the goodie powder.
I look like, damn. She's not ugly. I just didn't want to look like her. Kuwaiti ER vending machines. Hey, Maxine. Yes. And we had to redo that scene like 3 to 4 times.
Foodie's trying to get some sympathy for her, quote, high blood pressure, but then she didn't actually go to the ER. She just said it to get
for
sympathy.
real. Like, it literally just took all my nausea and dizziness away. It was really weird. Hey, Coco Beagles. We at least had some good times. Yes. That's usually how it happens. You start looking like someone you don't want to. Remember the dungeon door at the ER? Oh God, it was so bleak beyond those doors, man. I had to find somewhere to piss in a little cup. Anyways, it was the birthing ward. But there was a woman who looked like she was suffering from cancer. She was very small and had
this
the IV.
Describing her trip to the hospital, apparently.
Something from a dumpster. It was like, oh my God. It was really awful. I feel bad. Did I tell you whenever they sent me to this room to get my blood taken?
I have a feeling you'll learn to really hate her in another 3 to 6 months. But hey, I enjoy every step of the whole Foodie cycle.
There's no one in the room. There's just like a desk and this like really fucking really like broken chair with the stuffing coming out. And we're like, there's no one in here. We hear like, a lot of talking in this other room. So Salah knocks on the door. He opens the door. He's really blunt. The door bangs. Behind the door, the nurse who was supposed to take my blood and some other hospital workers were on the floor eating like a big thing of fucking lamb and rice. And he's like, hey, my wife needs blood drawn. Yalla, soda, he was rude. He was rude. So the male nurse comes out to take my blood, still picking his teeth from the lamb and rice. He looks exactly like, it was an older man, like, anyway, he smelled like cigarettes. And he takes my arm, he washes.
Oh, is this Syria or was this in Kuwait? If this was in Syria, like they don't have like they're probably not getting paid. Those are all volunteers in that hospital. They're just they're working there like on their own time. They're not getting paid.
Hands and stuff, puts a glove. Like 2 seconds, he took my blood. He was like really pro at it. But anyway, that dungeon door made me. Yeah, that was. I did one cameo today. No, I don't want to go to a mosque on Saturday.
You don't want to go to a mosque on Sunday either. I mean, or Friday. Oh, by the way, Foodie claims that she disconnected the beep on her Scooty the other day, the reversing beep. She said that she had to turn the thing over and disassemble, or not disassemble, but disconnect some wires underneath the Scooty. There's no way she could do that. There's no way she could even turn that thing over and then lift it back up under her own power. I don't believe she could do that. Maybe she could, but there's no way that she could do that and then disconnect the wire without screwing it up. I don't believe she could do that. I believe that she visited Natter and he did it. Natter said that somebody came to visit him and bought him some groceries, and that was like, what, a week or two ago? And it was just before Foodie showed off or claimed that she had disconnected the beeper on her Scooty.
Listen, whenever I don't feel self-conscious about mixing with other Muslims, I'll do it. But that's only when I can become like a better person, like a better Muslim, you know? So until then, I just feel too haram to mingle with others.
She feels too haram to mingle with others. I can actually respect that. I don't respect that she is too haram, but I can respect the fact that she's at least not throwing it in the face of the local religious community, right? Like, I think it's like Foodie, you should not even be wearing this outfit at all. You're a disgrace to the outfit. You know, it's a cosplay. You're not serious. But at least she's not taking it to the next level of going there and flaunting it in their faces. Maybe she's not doing it because she's afraid there'll be a backlash against her. Maybe they'll call her out publicly or something. They'll shame her. But at least that's good that she's not going to the mosque, because that would really be insulting.
Chef Rena Martel? No, I don't. We have the same birthday. Nice. I don't do makeup tutorials because can you do Tree Lady?
That's fair.
Oh my God.
That's fair.
Christian churches don't judge. I know. So I just prefer to do celebrations myself. I'm really fine. Trust me, I'm totally okay. That was a bit worrying. No, actually, women do not have to go to the mosque. Women usually pray at home. It's the men that have that obligation. Salah goes to the mosque.
That would be a really good wrestling match too, because they're in a similar weight class. I mean, Saggy's younger, and I think she's tougher. But they're close enough in weight that you couldn't say it was unfair. So I think that would be a pretty good matchup. I agree, 100%.
Since being in Syria, he did a lot too in Kuwait, though.
Now, if they could, Foodie would never go through with it. But if they did like that charity boxing thing for streamers, why couldn't they do that for Girl World?
Yep. Do Rosie? How is she sitting? Like, do I look like I'm melting? I do. I look like an oil slick. They don't tell you the price you pay. I'm really not that good at impressions, but I think it's the fact that I'm not good that makes it funny.
I mean, if just being like real, like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, if I thought Foodie was like somebody who would take advice, I would probably give her that advice too. I'd say, I don't think you're really cut out for the Muslim religion. It doesn't seem to suit you very well. You don't really seem to follow the principles of the religion. I think you need something a little bit less demanding. So I mean, but then again, it's her choice, right? Like, but I don't. The Muslim faith does not seem to suit Chantal at all.
Do Shani? I don't even remember how I used to do her. I can't do it. Wait, let me practice my smoke voice.
This is when Foodie's at her best.
My feelings, Jason.
This is when she's at her best.
Rev's drag persona. What the fuck is his name again? What's her name again? JC. Oh my God, what is his voice he does? I can't even do it. I don't know if I can right now. Do shit Rev whenever you yeah, so it's really, really hard out here, guys, and it'd be really, really good if any of you have it in your heart, man, if you could just send Shanny a pizza.
I think Foodie would be good on the Sea Org. They could use her as ballast on one of those yachts.
My cat's looking at me like, oh, maybe PG-13. Like, get on camera and beg for your own fucking pizza. Is that the way he provides? He's the one who does the begging?
Oh, you know what? Maybe they could do like a picture book version. Like a scratch and sniff comic book kind of thing. She might do that.
Anyway, I saw this on TikTok. There's a page called Penny Fairy, and she records, this person goes on people who beg on TikTok on their streams, and they'll be like, if anyone can send money to my PayPal, so they'll send a penny, and he'll go, Penny Fairy, send a penny. You think that's funny? I got bills to pay. I swear, listen, we all need help once in a while, and there's no shame in asking for help. But this one woman was online begging, she's like, all I need is $7,000, y'all. If y'all can send each maybe $200, I think we can reach our goal.
Foodie, don't you remember when you were begging for money to leave Syria? Didn't she beg for $10,000 or something? Was it 2,000 or was it 10,000? I remember it was absurd. She literally said she needed thousands of dollars because she didn't feel safe and they were going to kill her. They were going to take her life. It was the most blatant scam that she's run. I don't think she's ever been more blatant about it. And now she has the hypocrisy to mock somebody else for doing the same.
Right, great.
10K. It was 10K.
Anyways, this woman wanted 7,000 for like an SUV. Like, don't we all, man? Go to fucking work like everyone else.
Well, you had 10K for an SUV, but you didn't spend it on an SUV. Instead, you spent it on a Sala.
Isn't that crazy? Crying in gratitude because people are just typing amounts of money into the chat. No, what the fuck? Oh my god. I do feel bad for Shani and Rev being homeless is sad. But Kelly, they don't do anything about it. You know, like it's hard to feel bad for them specifically because they're homeless because of their own dumb actions. You know, like I still don't wish harm on them or anybody, but it's just like it's hard.
Do you think she'll do you think Foodie would they'd send her one for free, or do you think she'd be willing to buy it herself?
It's a little hard to feel bad. I don't feel bad. Right? Teardrop right away. It's true though, like, right? Fuck. I was trying to soften the blow, but essentially
I think she could I mean, it's a nice idea, but I don't think she'd actually go through with it. She'd probably think she's too good for that stuff. But seriously, she probably needs something like that because she doesn't she doesn't have the interest or the patience to read the actual book.
I don't either. I don't. And you know, if I did what they did, I wouldn't expect people, like, they literally just lay around in the tent. Maybe they like it that way. They've built a little community with the other homeless people, you know? Those people had sponsors like that, they probably wouldn't be asking. The thing is, people send me gifts and it does contribute to my overall income. For sure it does. But like...
But what?
Would I still be able to live doing content without getting as many gifts? Like, you know, like, it's... Yes.
Well, if you could, why don't you tell that to your Beezers? Because you tell them all the time how desperate you are and how you need help and how you can't afford anything and I can't afford to eat and I can't afford this and I can't afford that. If you genuinely don't need all these gifts, then why do you beg for them?
I would be able to. These people, like, I don't know, if you're begging on TikTok as a job, like, that's just not fair. Like, you know, like,
yeah, you should be begging on YouTube like Foodie. Why are you begging on TikTok? Go on YouTube, get a real job.
Why should somebody, everyone is struggling in the economy. Why should these people get a free ride in life? You know, I'm talking about like able-bodied people who can actually work.
Yeah, not people who've eaten themselves into disability.
They just come on and they beg for their bills to be paid, but they, like, why? Like, you know, I don't know. When I needed $20, yeah. I don't know. People who have money who want to give gifts to me, I really appreciate that, you know, because it does encourage, like, make you want to come on and do content for you guys and stuff like that, you know, too. So it is nice. And I gift people too. Like, I gift people on TikTok sometimes, you know, but it's just like when you're doing, like, a job.
Really? Really? You give out how much, Foodie?
And then, like, get entitled when people are not gifting. Like, some people will be like, I guess I'm just gonna get off because, like, you know, like they come on every day begging for like $60. Like, instead of doing this, just like you have to contribute like everyone else in some way, or at least do content then and get paid for it.
Foodie, this message that you're giving out here is not entirely, you know, without merit, but you are not the person to say this. You have no right to talk about other people feeling entitled. I mean, how are you going to talk about other people shouldn't be begging online for it? You could not be more hypocritical here. This would be like Rosie giving a talk about you know, how you should monitor your health and go see a doctor and eat healthy. I mean,
I don't know.
You're not the person to say it.
Really? I was thinking of getting a Walmart blood pressure thing tomorrow. Yeah.
Seriously.
Like Shani and Rev. That's my point. You know, Kelly, like, to go back to feeling bad for them, people will watch them if they go live. All they have to do is make a kick or something else. That's all I have to do is pick. There's so many monetizable platforms. Just, they would get like maybe 1,000 a month at the minimum. I don't understand why they don't want to help themselves. But I don't talk about it much. I don't really, you know, whatever. It's their life. Like, they're free to do what they want.
I'm starting to get a little tired.
I
think we're going to wind it down.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But it is awful, but I don't know. Can't be too awful if you don't want to do something about it. Like, if you were really suffering, you would do anything you can. No, I never checked my blood pressure ever. I was like surprised. Not really.
I never checked my blood pressure ever.
You know, but yeah, I feel. I mean, I'm pretty shameless, but who in here wants to give me money? Not me. No, I'm just joking. It's great.
All right, everybody.
My payday was today.
I think I'm going to close it down here. You've been a fantastic audience, as always. Thank you to all of the chatters. Thank you to all of the mods. Thank you to all the lurkers. Thank you to all the channel members. Thank you to all the commenters. Anybody watching the replay. Thank you to all the newcomers. Glad to have you. And with that, going to say goodnight. Good night, Hippie Easter. Hopefully you feel well. Have a good recovery. Good night, Steady C. Good night to you, Elizu. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. And thank you all for joining. Good night to you, Blushface. And good night to everybody else. Anybody I missed. Good night, Elizu. Good night, Nirvana. Good night, The Glitter Files. And good night, Marsha, Hilly Pow 4671. Thank you, everybody. Good night, good night, good night.